for the second last time. Hello and welcome everyone. This is Professor Siddharth Surana. I hope you guys are doing good. और मैं तो हमेशा मस्ती रहता हूँ. Welcome back. We have commenced our chapter called TDS. TDS has got two parts. Part 1 is TDS. Part 2 is TCS. We will first do obviously the first part, TDS, which we have already started discussing. I also discussed with you the manner of learning of this chapter. Sir, manner of learning is going to be what? That we will only save the writing part of it without skipping any section. If you remember yesterday's class, a good amount of introduction was already done with you. For example, the payment which the payer is making, is it income for the payee? On that income, the payee has to pay tax. So the payer will deduct some tax at source, will deduct and give it to the government. So that way payer has to pay everything. And payee also is getting everything. So there is no profit or loss that TDS is going to make to the payer or the payee. The expense of the payer is equal to the income of the payee will be equal to the gross amount. And are we clear that we will not confuse the TDS rate with the tax rate? And towards the end, I also told you a few important things about TDS. See, income tax will come on an income or no, that depends on whether the income is taxable income or exempt income. That exempt income ka chapter we finish at the beginning of our syllabus. TDS will not come on exempt income because that you don't have to offer to tax. The whole idea of TDS was that you should offer it to tax. So on exempt income, there will be no TDS guarantee. But on taxable income, there may or may not be TDS because TDS does not come on all the payments. It comes on selected payment. You paid the chai wala, you paid for your tea, or you ran away from there. You paid. You did not deduct TDS because TDS does not come on all the payment. 1 minute. You don't deduct TDS till it is taxable for him now. So one thing is clear that income may be taxable, but there may not be TDS. But if income is exempt, then there is definitely no TDS. Correct? We discussed that also. And we also discussed that all duties are of the payer. When we say all the duties, effectively and actually the payer has to do 4 duties. Sir, what are the 4 duties that the payer has to do? Oh, short-term memory loss. I uploaded the TDS ka PDF also along with yesterday's class PDF. First, deduct. Then, deposit, remit, pay to the government. Third, see, government will get the money. With that, they will not come to know whom to give credit. You have to give details. That is called TDS return. My own income tax return I file once in a year after previous year in the assessment year. But for you people, supposedly I am the payer, you are my payees. So, if I file return, then only you will get credit because then only government will have data. For you people, I have to file TDS return 4 times in a year, quarterly return. And I have to also give you a certificate. So, a lot of things of the introduction we have already studied. So, do you now understand that under any payment, when one payer is making payment to the payee, so for the payee it is going to be income and there will be tax. I have purposely taken the example of client and CA only over here and the same numerical example because professional fees ka TDS rate is. One thing is clear that how much expense we will show in the books of accounts of the payer? 1 lakh because he is still paying 10. And how much income we will show in the accounts of the payee? 1 lakh only. Sir, but he has received only 90. He has received 10 also as credit from the government. Believe me, when the payer is making this payment, no, it is like expense account debit 1 lakh. 2, bank account 90,000. And 2, TDS payable, it is his liability. He has to pay to the government and get rid of the liability. And if we talk about the payee, the receiver, it is bank account debit 90,000. Please understand, because received is 90. Okay. TDS credit account debit. You understand assets have debit balance? Hello. So TDS credit account debit. This 10,000 he will show as a recoverable on his asset side because this 10,000 he has to receive from the government at the end of the year when he calculates his tax liability. We will record this TDS as my asset. Current asset. So bank account debit 90,000. TDS receivable or credit receivable account debit 10,000. Asset. So debit balance 2. Income 1 lakh. You understand? All the duties are. आजकल सबको आपके बैच में चक्कर कैसे आते हैं? Everyone, is this also contagious? तू तो टोपी पहन के आता है. Point. Makes sense. So basically, his hint is that everyone wear a cap and What if I tell you that your attempt is in the month of May 2 to 5? Just in case you were not aware. Sir, garmi, garmi, garmi. Don't do this drama. Okay? I myself cleared CA final in the May attempt. And temperature always has been like this only. So, cut the drama, please. Garmi hai. It is understandable. You stay hydrated. Drink enough water. If possible, you may carry some, some liquid like Tang or Glucon-D or something in a separate bottle and keep on sipping a few. Of course, carry that only. Making the excuse of Glucon-D. Don't bring other liquids to class and keep on sipping. You never trust some people. Stay hydrated, and if you have too much of sunburn issues, so use umbrella. Yeah, don't be shy. Cover yourself under the sun, and don't expect, okay, sir, I wish there was someone in my life who walks with me carrying the umbrella. High hopes. हाँ, ये तो काम धंधे पे फोकस। अब लगेगा तो लगेगा, लेक्चर रोको। I never. See, every day he was late. No, then otherwise, you normally don't see me very angry. If I had to be very angry on someone being late, those two students who have not come also. तो chill कर. Okay. Don't be Mother Teresa. Either better she's taking tension of, sir, she is late, sir, she has this problem, sir, you don't shout at her. If you now don't focus on the chapter, I will shout at you. So focus kar. Everyone. All the duties are of the payer. Payer has to first deduct, then pay to the government, then return and certificate. A big question now arises. Now that I have started my discussion from this PDF, now I have to discuss a very important thing. Supposingly, me payer, you pay. Or me payer, you income tax officer, government, who is giving me all the duties. What are my duties? First deduct, then deposit, then the TDS return, then certificate. All this first of all increases my work and also increases my cost. Please understand. If I have to make one payment of 1 lakh rupees, I have to incur bank charges of NEFT or RTGS only once. But if I have to make two payments, 90 and 10, I will have bank charges twice. CA will take money from me for filing my TDS returns. Please understand. Please understand that I will have to pay my CA for TDS returns. I pay my own income tax return ka fees once in a year. But for you people, for my pays, I have to pay TDS return fees 4 times in a year because it is quarterly. Then certificates also I have to print out and courier and all that. So is it increasing my work as well as my expense, overhead cost of running my business? Because government ka TDS duty payer has to be. And therefore the payer went and had a conversation with the assessing officer. So me payer, you AO. Me payer, you AO. Hi AO. Arey what high? What high? Whose income? Whose income? Whose income? His income. Whose tax? His tax. His income, his tax, his income. Arey take it from him now. What nonsense is this? You are giving me the duties because you want to have reporting of transactions. His income, his tax, take it from him. Why are you increasing my work and cost? You understand the logic? Are you increasing my work? Are you increasing my overhead cost? Whose income? Whose tax? So take it from him. You understand? No. Listen. We agree that it is his income. We agree that it is his income. But what is it for you? Expense. As a client, is professional fees your business expense? You want deduction? Huh? You want deduction? So you better do your TDS duties because failure will result in disallowance. Are you understanding? Now this is where we have this in PGBP. If the payer does not deduct tax, for resident pay 30%, for non-resident pay 100%. Then there is going to be some interest. All the interest calculations come in extreme detail in CA final. Intermate is roughly, I will tell you what is the interest. If I don't deduct TDS, is that a crime? Think about it. And if I deduct but I don't pay to the government on time, is that also a crime? There will be interest for both. There will be penalty, and in extreme rare cases, you will go to jail also. TDS defaults can attract jail also. So a payer, whose income? Pay. Whose tax? Pay. You still do the duties. Because if you don't be prepared to face the music, be prepared to face the music. Disallowance, interest, penalty, and understood. Next, this we already discussed. Please understand that TDS is not tax rate. Have we discussed that? So TDS is only a deduction. On some payments there is TDS. For example, professional fees, there is TDS. But the money that you paid to the tea seller on the road or the sandwich seller on the road or your local train, who was that local train yesterday? The money that you paid, is it the income of the receiver? Take any one person in example, a tea vendor on the street. Is it his income? You don't deduct TDS. So he will have to make direct payment, which can be advance tax if it is 10,000 or more, or self-assessment tax. If there is TDS, take credit. If there is no TDS, that does not mean that I can say, for example, I get 25,000. For completing your batch, I am going to get 25,000. Hopefully very soon. 25,000 rupees I will get to complete your batch. Okay. So there is no TDS on that. Because professional fees TDS comes only if the payment is more than 30,000. There is a monetary limit given in the section. 30,000. Correct, everyone? So can I say the class owner will pay my 25,000 without deducting TDS? So it becomes my exempt income. No, sir, income is taxable. I have to add this 25,000. Maybe there is another class owner who gave me 10 lakh rupees also. So that person must have deducted 1 lakh rupees TDS. I will offer total receipts at 10 lakh 25,000. On that, I will take deduction of my expenses, chapter 6 or whatever. Then I will calculate my tax liability on my entity, not on individual transaction. And finally, in that tax liability, I will take credit only of that 1 lakh which one of the payers has deducted. So if any payment suffers TDS, you claim credit. If any payment does not suffer TDS, you still add in the income, calculate tax, and whatever is the tax, you have to pay that. That is direct payment. Just in case somebody does not deduct your TDS. Supposingly, I am not getting 25,000. I am getting 2 lakh rupees. I am not getting that much. I am saying, supposingly, I am not getting that much means it can be higher also. Matlab, I am not getting 2 lakhs. I promise 2 lakh is not the fees. It is lower only. It can be higher also. So 2 lakh is wrong figure. But let us take that example. Supposingly 2 lakh rupees. But the payer does not have knowledge of TDS. Maybe I am teaching in some science coaching class. They don't know about TDS and all. So they gave me my 2 lakh without deducting TDS. They have failed in their duty. They will suffer all these problems. But that does not mean I will say, sir, they don't deduct TDS, so I will not pay tax. No, sir. You have to add this 2 lakh in your income. Calculate tax. If TDS was deducted, then you would have taken credit. If TDS is not deducted, so you make direct payment, advance tax or self-assessment. Understood? Because we already know that TDS does not come on all the payments. TDS comes only on selected payments. For example, sandwich seller or dosa seller or idli seller or tea seller, there is no TDS, but it is taxable because TDS comes only on selected payments, and that also has to be taxable in India, which is why that line which I taught you yesterday, if you remember, if an income is exempt, I have a guaranteed answer for TDS, no TDS. If an income is taxable, there may be TDS, may not be TDS. Why there may not be TDS? Even if the income is taxable, maybe it is not covered in the chapter. Maybe it is less than the monetary limit. Maybe there are some cases where there is exemption from TDS. Income is not exempt. Income is taxable, but we grant you immunity from levy of TDS. So there are a lot of such cases where TDS won't come, but the income is still going to be taxable. TDS will come only if it exceeds the monetary limit of every section. Now, if I have to tell you that what is the biggest expectation of TDS chapter from CA final students is that every section that is given in the chapter, there is a section for there is a section for salary, there is a section for interest, there is a section for commission, there is a section for rent, there is a section for professional fees, because these are the payments which attract TDS. So every section has a monetary limit. 30,000 is not same in all the sections. For example, in case of professional fees, it is 30,000. But in case of rent, it is 2,40,000 per annum. But if a salaried employee is paying rent, it is 50,000 per month. In case of interest, normally there is 5,000 ka limit. If it is bank interest, because bank has regular interest payments, so the limit is 40,000. If bank is paying senior citizen, so the limit is 50,000. If it is commission payment, so TDS will come only if the annual payment crosses 15,000. These are only examples that I am giving you, not to show off that I know all the monetary limits. Not a big thing if I know all the monetary limits. I do it every day. Not a big thing. Not a great thing if I know it by heart, because I have been doing it on a day-to-day basis. Problem is this, that no matter how much you try, you may not be able to learn all monetary limits of all the sections. Of course, I will tell you which are the important ones. But once you come to CA final, that is the only thing that gets tested in the exam. So every section ka monetary limit you have to learn at CA final. And now if we talk about rate of TDS, did we do professional fees as example of 10%? But I must tell you that 10% being the most popular, I take that as an example. There is TDS of 0.1%. 1, 2, 5, 10. 10 we saw. There is a section where there is 20. There is a section where there is 30% TDS. So range is very heavy. 0.1 to 30. These two things are something that every CA final student has to mandatorily learn. Without that, you should not go and give your exam also. If I may just show you. तो तू क्यों नहीं खुल रहा है अभी? चलो लेक्चर ओवर, चैप्टर ओवर, सिलेबस बस हैप्पी चलना. If it decides to open, I will show. Yesterday I showed you about that chapter of CA final where I wrote the full chapter. In that format, once the notepad opens, I will show you. In every section, I have written who will be the payer of this payment, who will be the payee. Please understand, for payee it is income and payer has to do duty. What is the rate of this section? What is the monetary limit of this section? You understand? I have written in every section. Final का students take down those notes also. Inter में I make daily class notes. So daily का PDF is saved. Final में we make chapter wise class notes. First chapter introduction. If it goes on for 4 lectures, so we continue in the same page, same page, same page. When that chapter is over, we convert the PDF, the notepad into PDF. So final का notes are chapter wise. So one full TDS का chapter you will find in one page, converted into PDF. A PDF of many pages, of course. In every section we have written and students are expected to learn that. I tell them this only, that go through the, like we do at times at Inter also, go through all the rates and monetary limits. Convince yourself that you have memorized them. Take a break of 48 hours like I told you for doing 115 DAC. And then on a blank piece of paper, see how many rates and monetary limits you are able to write. Even if you are able to write 60-70% of it, you are actually ready for the exam. Because believe me, you may have, shortage of confidence. Sir, I am not able to learn rates and monetary limits. It does not happen with you alone. Trust your caliber. You are very bright. You are talented. If you are unable to learn something by heart or retain it, it will happen with everyone. Which is why in CA exam only 15% people pass. Because that retention wala power is something that is tested. And not everyone is fit at it. And most people are not able to retain things. Sir, so what should I do? Simple solution is, not immediately, but after a time gap, at least 2 days, at least 48 hours, on blank piece of paper, write whatever you need. The more you write. Don't write in good handwriting. Don't write in proper presentation of exam. Write in bad handwriting. Write in rough, but write. The more you write, one time writing, old teachers used to say, one time writing is 4 times reading. The more you write, automatically that retention will come. There is another problem that, you study tax. After that, near your exam, you stop studying tax. Last few days, maybe you study for paper 1 accounts. Then before your exam, last 1 week before your exam, you have not studied tax. Now you give your accounts paper. Then you give your law paper as second. Then you give your tax paper. So last 1.5 day ka jo tax ka study you are doing, before that you had studied tax 10-15 days ago. At least 10 days ago. So that last 1.5 day becomes very, very crucial, because whatever you are able to revise in that 1.5 day will be something that will be helpful for you in your exam. One thing. However, if during your earlier studies you have done writing practice, then notice in that 1.5 day, you will be able to retain more than other people. It will reflect in your marks also. Ultimately, no matter how good we are in the subject, If we don't write on the answer paper, no, we will not get the marks. And the trick to that is write till you die. Writing practice, do it as much as possible. There is no secret to be successful at CA final. It is out in the open. Problem is how many people are ready to implement this strategy. The moment you get this feeling, sir, how much will I write, sir? So little time, I can't write. Better to go through the PDF, so I will be able to cover more syllabus because writing will consume more time than reading. Is basically where you start losing this battle. Skip little bit. It is okay because we all know no one gets 100 out of 100. This is not your 10th standard or 12th standard ka maths or accounts ka paper. You won't get 100 out of 100. But you are at least able to judge which are the important chapters. Do those chapters in writing. Do your PGBP, capital gain, salary, your scope of total income. You do writing practice and see your level of preparation. See your marks. Your marks will reflect. And a huge number of, I teach thousands of students across the country, and huge number of students get those good results. Good results means better marks in tax than even AIR 1, 2, 3. Of late, I see a trend where there is a teacher who has taught an individual subject. For example, someone is taking direct tax coaching with me at CA final. At final, people take subject by subject at different places. Final people, generally, we don't see them taking all subjects at one place. The culture slightly is changing. Whichever class they join for FR or FM or audit, for direct tax, they come to me. I see thousands of students at CA final who are scoring better than AIR 1, 2, 3. But I also at the same time see that there is an individual teacher who has taught direct tax. Direct tax, my student must have scored 60, 65 and got All India rank 1. So that teacher is doing marketing publicity of my student is AIR 1, not realizing the fact that you taught only one subject. A coaching class saying that my student has got AIR 1 if you have taught all the subjects, very much acceptable. Because students studied everything in your premises. But one subject a teacher, you tell us your subject matters, please. And you will very well see that our students have scored more than that AIR 1 also in taxation at least. Because there are a lot of students who follow instructions very, very seriously. The moment you decide that you will start following the instructions, you see the difference. So at CA final, so you will have to learn this only. You have no choice. At intermediate, I will definitely tell you the most important sections where maximum questions are asked, where you should be learning the rates and the monetary limit. There is an approach about which I will tell you. Okay. The next question is, should we include surcharge and cess while deducting TDS? So supposingly the section says 10% TDS. So should we deduct 10,000 or 10,000 plus cess is the question. This professional fees only. Should we add cess? So listen, surcharge and cess is added in tax calculation. Is added in? And TDS is different from tax calculation. First of all, are we clear about that? So TDS will be only this much. See, end of the day, whether we deduct more or less, whatever gets deducted, you will get credit. No? You deduct more or you deduct less, whatever will be deducted, will you get credit of the same? Correct or no? TDS के rate में there will never be surcharge or cess except two places. If you are making payment to a salaried employee, you will earn only one place because non-resident wala international tax wala part you don't have to study it intern. So in your mind, when we calculate TDS on salary, this will help a lot of students who want to know about salaried employees in their family, friends, etc. In salaried employees, no, there is a section 192 TDS on salary. Please listen to this carefully. Employees are given salaries by their employers. That means, can I say employer is payer and employee is payee? There will be TDS on their salary. Normally, TDS ka section has said 0.1%, 1, 2, 5, 10, the most popular percentage. That means rate of TDS is given in every section. But in salary payment, and non-resident is also there, which you can ignore, everyone focus. The rule is that you have to deduct full tax at the applicable rate. Listen to this carefully. Supposingly, you are a salaried employee who is getting salary of 50,000 per month. So your annual income will be 6 lakh. There may be some standard deduction based on old regime, new regime. There may be some other income. Calculate total income, calculate total tax. Add surcharge, cess if applicable. That divide by 12 is the TDS boss will deduct every month. So somebody falling in 6 lakh income is in 20% bracket if you understand between 5 lakh and 10 lakh. But supposingly my income is 60 lakhs, then I will be in 30% bracket. In fact, there will also be 10% surcharge plus 4% cess. So my boss will calculate my total tax of 60 lakh, divide that by 12 and deduct that every month. Effective. What is going to happen is, there is no rate given. Calculate full tax of the employee. Ask the employee only in advance. You want to go in old regime or you want to go in new regime. Calculate the total income, calculate the total tax and deduct the total tax. And when we say total tax, then do you realize that the total tax will also include surcharge and cess. So only in salary, non-resident you ignore. At inter you will say only in salary, TDS will include surcharge and cess. In all other sections, if they say 10%, then you deduct 10 only. You don't deduct 10 plus surcharge plus cess. Is that understood, everyone? Now, before I go to the next part, I want to directly take you to how this chapter is tested in exam. अभी रुकना पड़ेगा. हाँ. Before I go, अरे क्या तंबाकू की तरह what you are doing? Now remove it on your hand. Now we will continue the lecture. Bus. Focus, please, everyone. Before I go further into TDS, I have to tell you direct exam strategy of TDS. See, please understand. In TDS, there is going to be a gross amount. Say, we'll continue our example. 1 lakh. From that, this discussion of the next 15-20 minutes, maximum half an hour, will directly ensure your exam marks. If you follow this part seriously, of course, all the sections we will go through, but this part will ensure your marks. In that, there is 10,000 TDS. So, what is the net amount that we are releasing to the payee? 90,000. Correct? Eh? Some years ago, I used to tell CA inter students that please don't use your brain, because you don't have also. You have. Where you use it is also important. No. See, anybody having ATU deduction also has brain. But the functioning is under question right now. So please focus. I used to tell CA inter students, don't use your brain because you don't have also. You chill, relax. Because all you are required to do is, whatever is the TDS amount, in the above example, what is the TDS amount? You add in income. So, basically my income was 90,000. But in that, I will add the TDS amount and make my income 1 lakh. And at the same time, the TDS amount, you less in tax. See, first of all, you understand this 1 lakh is only one of the transactions during the year. Calculate your NTTI, which will include all your transactions during the year. Calculate your tax during the year, which will be on NTTI, not on 1 lakh rupees ka individual transaction. And in that, you subtract your TDS amount as we always do, so that we get our payable. In fact, sometimes it can also become refundable. Ye correct hai? So all you are required to do is, what to do with the TDS amount? Add in income, less in tax. Add in income, less in tax. That's what you have to do for your exam activity. Which means, therefore, in NTTI, you will include gross amount. Then you are calculating your head of income, whichever head of income. Supposingly it is dividend, so you put in IFRS. Supposingly it is rent, so you put in house property. Supposingly it is professional fees, so you put in PGBP. Head of income will depend on nature of transaction. But in that head of income, you will not add the net amount, you will add the gross amount and less the TDS in your tax liability. Correct? Hai? Correct? Hai? Now exam questions are of two types. Question 1, if the question has given you the gross figure, what to do with the gross amount? For example, question has given you 1 lakh rupees only in the question, and they will say gross amount. What will they say? gross amount. So what to do with the gross amount? Directly add in NTTI, correct? Still you will less the TDS in your tax calculation. And supposingly in your exam they have given you the net amount, means exam mein they have given you 90,000 and they do write in bracket net. Hello, so what will you do? Add net plus TDS in NTTI and still less the TDS in tax. So if I have to directly take you to a PGBP question in which they ask this TDS adjustment, PGBP will always give you P&L account. They will give you professional receipts or business receipts, something like this. They will give you receipts. They will give you 1 lakh and here they will mention gross. So what do you have to do? In income, how much we have to take? Income taxable and credited, no effect. It is already come, just minus 10,000 in tax. That means, can I say this is same as our question 1 that we have written about? Alternatively, they can also give you something like receipts net of TDS, 90,000. This 90 is taxable in PGBP. That is already a part of P&L account. Plus 10,000 more is taxable. So in PGBP, we will have to add 10,000. Why add 10? Because 90 is already included in the profit figure here. Correct? Hai? And in tax, we will minus 10,000. That is the second type of adjustment that they ask in exam. And if they want to make it more complicated, in the P&L account credit side, you will sometimes get this also. FD interest net of TDS, 90,000. FD interest net of TDS, 90,000. The thing that you already understood with the present explanation is that this 90 is a part of my income plus TDS is part of my income. So total my income will have 90 plus that TDS amount. The second adjustment which you also know is that TDS ka amount which we will be adding in the income, we will also be subtracting in our tax. But there is one third adjustment also. Please don't disappoint me. Please show your talent. This is the real time. Guess karo what will be the third adjustment. Hint is simple. This is profit and loss account. IFOS में जाएगा. So tell me the third adjustment, please. IFOS में we will take the gross. That is the first two adjustment that we already discussed. IFOS में take the gross and TDS amount less in tax. What is the third adjustment? PGBP में, yes, less. How much? Why 90? Because P&L account में we have written 90. So if I have to solve this adjustment in my exam, I have to do three things. First, I will have to less in PGBP. Tell me the amount. 90,000. Because 90 is included, so remove 90. Then I will have to add in IFOS. 1 lakh. You don't have to add in IFOS. You have to add. No, someone said weird sounds you are making. Kya Gupta? Stop making funny sounds. 1 lakh you bola. You'll see his reaction. ये 1 lakh ही बोला. ये गुप्ता agreement हुआ है क्या that we will always fight with you, we will always shout at you? No. What happened? Hey. See, automatically you'll start feeling well. Believe me. The moment you be like, you are forcing yourself to believe you are unwell. Without reason also. Always do this. See, automatically you'll get the feeling that, मैं ठीक हूँ. No, I will not say it to you. Promise. There has to be a reason to cry. There can't be reason to smile. And every time you are sad, no, look at yourself on the front camera. Look at your face when you are sad, you are down. See how you look and immediately change your expression to. And see how you look. The most ugly looking people look good when they smile. Just check. चेक कर गुप्ता, चेक कर, स्माइल करके चेक कर, ऐसे ही अच्छा लगता है. हाँ, टेल मी द लास्ट एडजस्टमेंट. Add in IFOS 1 lakh because gross amount and less in tax payable. See, liability mein you don't subtract. Huh? You will calculate basic tax, rebate, surcharge, cess, everything. Then in the final answer, you will be subtracting 10,000. This is how you will get your marks. This is how easy it is. Means the common rule is income will always include. So if we summarize, therefore common rule is NTTI will always include the gross amount. Gross is given, write directly. Net is given, write net plus TDS. And tax payable will always, we will always less the TDS amount. Is that easy? Is that understood? Is that understood what you have to what you have to do in your computation of NTTI and computation of tax liability? What you have to do? But then this small little problem is whether the question gives me the gross amount or the net amount. In income, I have to add the gross amount. So in question 1, I have to add 1 lakh. In question 2 also, I have to add 90 plus 10. But how will I come to know that 10? Because that 10 is the 10 which I have to subtract in tax in all the cases. After I calculate my liability, I have to subtract my TDS. How will I come to know? Because there is a problem. Every section ka rate and every section ka rate of TDS is different. The range is from 0.1% to 10. Now, this is professional fiscal example. We know we have a preset mind that it is 10,000. So it is very easy. But then there can be a question where the rate is 1%. Just imagine if it is 1% and they give you 99,000 net. You know this is net. You know this plus TDS equal to gross equal to NDTI and that TDS amount equal to the credit. But how do you know that it is 1,000? Sometimes they can give you gross 1 lakh, not of professional fees, not of professional, maybe some other, they say gross rent 1 lakh. No problem. NTTI computation is still safe because we have to add the gross amount. But tax computation is a problem, no? Because after calculating my liability, I have to do what? Reduce the tax. I don't know how much is the TDS of this section. So there are two types of questions, an easy question or difficult question. In exam, if the rate or the TDS amount is given, do you realize? Then it becomes very easy. What do you have to do? Supposingly, they say this is gross with 10% TDS. So income we write 1 lakh and tax we subtract 10,000. If they say this is gross with 1% TDS, so income we write 1 lakh and tax we subtract 1,000. If they say 99,000 net of 1,000 TDS, so income we write 99 plus 1 and tax we minus 1. So either they give us the rate or they give us the amount. Then so it is very easy. We just have to apply this policy that we have already summarized. If they give us the rate or amount, then it becomes very easy. Correct? Eh? If they give us the rate or amount, then it becomes very easy. But if they don't give, that is where trouble will strike. That is where a problem will come. They have given you net or gross. You know, if gross given, write directly in income. If net given, then net plus TDS has to be written. Now you don't know the TDS ka rate or amount because they have not given. So without knowing that TDS rate or amount, your NTTI will also be wrong. Your tax also will be wrong. Sir, what to do in those questions? So this is direct exam oriented study. What to do in those questions? Option 1. Learn rate of every section. Purchase of goods 0.1%. Contractor payment 1%. Contractor payment to company firm, then 2%. Commission payment 5%. Professional fees or rent 10%. Rent is sometimes 10, sometimes 2%. Payment to foreign national sportsmen 20%. Payment of lottery winnings 30%. Learn all these rates. Learn these rates. Once you learn all the rates of all payments, then so you will know that this transaction comes in which rate. But you have to do this, not today. You have to do this 3 years from today. Today you don't have to do this. You can't be learning rates and monetary limits of all the sections for a weightage of 2 to 5 marks. And 5 marks is when they make it difficult. It can be 2 marks also. In that PGBP ka big question of 15 marks, there will be 1 or 2 mark ka TDS ka adjustment. Other than that, if they ask a separate question on TDS, so I must tell you that there is one question which you are allowed to leave in options also. In the worst case, in case you are not able to recollect anything. But if you don't want to take that chance, so you go for option 1. I am not saying the moment a student will come and ask, sir, can I learn all? I will never say no. Sir, don't you think I should learn? No. You learn some chapters of CA final, I will not say no. But it is not required considering the weightage. See, if it was a chapter like PGBP, if it was a chapter like capital gains, I will not give you choice. I will say you have to learn. You have to learn 35 AD specified business or scientific research. You have to learn what are the cases where indexation is available or not available. You have to learn which loss can be adjusted against which profit. You have to learn what incomes are taxable for ROR, NOR and NR for scope of total income question. You have to learn 182 days, 60 days, 120 days, 365 days, 730 days. You have to learn because questions come weightage. But where there is no weightage, that much unnecessary effort you don't put is a freedom that I give you. Sir, then how should we approach? Keep in mind the situation is where the rate and the monetary limit is not given. If it is given, the story is over here only. No. If it is given, add the TDS and complete your calculation and in tax minus the TDS. If not given, then what is my first option? Learn. Learn what? Rate of every section. Correct? Option 2. I am telling you some important sections. Highest number of questions in exam come from these sections. One is the section 192 salary, where we already have seen it is full tax rate. Just now we saw no. Plus surcharge plus cess. But other than 192, there are 5 sections of TDS chapter which I call hot favorite sections of ICAI. What do I call them? Hot favorite section. Highest number of questions in inter and final are asked from these sections. Highest number. And those sections are 194. आ चीज कौन सी चीज? विच चीज? आ चीज. (194A), (194C), (194H), (194I), (194J). आ चीज. Which चीज? आ चीज. There is a restaurant also of the same name. Achija. When I saw that restaurant for the first time, actually in our area it has recently opened, but it's Lower Parel, but it's a 20-30-year-old brand. In other places of Mumbai, there's a place called Ghatkopar. So it's acha kachi hub hai, to not surprised that you are aware of that. So when I saw that board for the first time, I took a photo of that restaurant name. And I posted on social media saying that when you open a restaurant after studying TDS, which cheez? 194A. Look at the importance. Look at how it affects day-to-day payment. Interest. Payment to contractor. Sir, what kind of contractor? Examples I will give you. Detail mein we will learn the section later. Somebody who is doing labor supply. A recruitment agency is a contractor. Somebody is, providing security guards also. We hire agency for that. Somebody is putting your advertisement hoardings, these highway hoardings, bus stop hoardings. We have to give contract to these organizations. somebody who has furnished your entire office. You have given a contract with material and labor. So these people are known as contractors. In fact, courier agencies are also contractors. The idea is this, please pay attention. You are paying someone for working, not for goods. You are paying for labor. You are paying for labor. But that person is not your employee. Because if it is employee, then it will get covered here. And that person is not a professional with a degree, because professional with a degree will come in this section. So courier agency, think about it now. Is it doing work or selling goods? Think about it. Courier agency is doing your work or selling goods? Work. Security supply agency, bodyguard supply agency. Work. Advertisement agencies, they are doing your work. Catering agencies, furnishing contract agencies, they are doing your work. Are they your employees? No. Do they have a degree, professional degree like CA, CS, lawyer, doctor, engineer? No. Anybody who is doing your work without being employee or professional is contractor. So these people come in our day-to-day lives. This is commission. No business or profession can survive without this. This is rent, and the last, as you are already aware, professional fees. Observe these payments and identify in your common sense wala brain the probability of these payments happening in day-to-day life, along with salary, of course, because salary does not fall in the sequence. No, so this is not C. Section number is 194 C. In case kal ki date pe you will wonder, sir, which section is C? You are confused. So I'll make it clear. You are C for confused, C for confused. So I will make it clear. 194 ACHIJ. Achij. Hot favorite sections. Do you realize these are transactions that will happen on day-to-day basis in every business profession? Correct or no? So we are going to have maximum questions in exam from these sections. So this section, salary ka to I already told you, full tax rate. This is 10%. Contractor mein there are two rates. If your contractor is individual HUF, is it possible that contractor agency is a proprietorship or HUF owned? So it is 1%. Or is it possible that ad agency is a limited company, that recruitment or labor supply agency is a limited company, LLP firm, then it is 2%. In commission, the rate is 5%. In rent also, there are two options. For land, building, furniture, it is 10%. For plant machinery, it is 2%. So there are two rates here. And in professional fees also, there are two rates. All throughout, I have always told you professional fees of 10, but this section covers some other payment. Fees for technical services. I had once upon a time told you about this. Fees. While we did deemed to be Indian income. Royalty payments. Director sitting fees. We discussed about that in IFOS. All those payments are also covered here. So some of those payments go in 2%. Some go in 10, some go in 2. You learn these rates along with salary, which I have written, because salary plus achij is hot favorite. Maximum questions in exam come from this. Option 1, learn all, which I tell you, avoid. Option 2, learn these, which also, 1, you will learn all of them. But there are two risks. Risk number 1, sir, after learning also, what if I don't remember? And 2, that means other sections, so we are not learning also. Question can come on other also. These are popular, these come often. Does not mean that there will be no question on other sections. Fantastic. So I give you third option, which will solve your problem in most cases where TDS rate is not given. Hey bro, I hope you are understanding that we are trying to see options in which cases where TDS is not given. See, if the TDS ka rate is given, if the TDS ka amount is given, then we have already concluded that it is easy for us. We will be able to do it. We have to do this discussion only when it is not given. When it is not given. Understood, everyone? So, ladies and gentlemen, third thing is an option. But It will solve your problem in 99 out of 100 situations, even if you don't learn anything, including these sections. These sections also you don't learn. These sections also you don't learn. Don't learn. Without learning anything, you will be able to write the answer in exam. 99 out of 100 cases, it will work. It's a secret trick. It's a secret way. Only you and me know this. Don't go and tell this to your friends in the neighboring buildings. You have friends in the neighboring buildings? यहाँ का neighboring building? You don't have? वहाँ का neighboring building? You don't have? You don't have friends anywhere? No. क्या? What was the name of that actress? कोई ना मित्रा. कोई ना मित्रा. Very bad joke. क्या बोल रहा है बोल? No. Don't go and share this trick with them, because they will then be left with only option 1 and 2. There is a risky way. You go and see, is the question giving you the gross amount, or the question is giving you the net amount? Ultimately, we have to find out the difference so that gross can be added. Supposingly question is giving you various, I am giving you examples. Question is giving me net of 90,000. Everyone is with me? I don't know the TDS rate. I don't know the TDS amount, but I know that net plus TDS equal to taxable income, and TDS ka amount I have to adjust in tax liability. But if I don't remember in exam, these sections also I have learned, but I don't remember. I have not learned anything like option 1. So what can I do? Idea. Secret between you and me. Idea is this. You go and find out the next round figure. What is the next round figure? 95. Chalo, fantastic. Check 95,000. So what is the difference? Difference is 5,000. Of course, you understand that this we are considering as the gross figure. That means 5,000 is deducted on 95. So check what percentage is 5,000 on 95. 5 point. Bro, there is no TDS rate like this. That means this is wrong. Try again. Next whole number. Try again. Huh? I am saying round figure. Matlab that way, so you can take 96,100 also. 1 lakh. What is the difference? 10,000. Therefore, what is the rate? Is there such rate in TDS chapter? Assume it is right. You want to play this game with me again? Supposingly, the net amount given to you in the question is 98,000. What will you do? What will you do? Go to 1 lakh. What is the difference? Difference is 2,000. When I check on this, I get 2%. Is there such a rate? Correct. Let's play this game further. Let's play this game further. Supposingly, you have been given 1,40,000. Next whole number. Huh? One. You can take as many examples that way as you want, but you should be also mentally thinking that 145 means difference is 5 upon 145. And 5 upon 145 जैसा कोई impossible है. Decimal में there is only 0.1%. That also at one place. So even if you want to do this, I am not saying because you are doing it for the first time. Chal kar le. What percentage you are getting? That's wrong only. So try again. Try again. Tell me the next big number, no plus at least. 1,50,000. Very good. What do you get? 10,000. What percentage is this? Wrong. There is no such rate only in the chapter. Rate is, I'll tell you the rate. 0.1, 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 and 30. Alternatively, what you can do is this divide by 99%, this divide by 98%, this divide by 95%, this divide by 80%, this divide by 70%. With that, do your guess. Hmm? That is not a round figure. No. What did I tell you? Give me the next round figure. 1, 160. Chal, theek hai. Let's try with 160. 160. What difference are you getting? 20,000. 20,000 on 160 is what percentage? There is no TDS rate of 12.5%. Wrong answer. 1 lakh 75,000. What difference are you getting? 35,000. 35 upon 175. 35 upon 1 lakh 75,000. You are getting 20%. You are getting 20%. But yes, you are getting a round figure. But this is still, as I told you already, it is a risky case. Risky because your answer may not be right always. Your answer is still wrong. But there is one good news involved here, that 20% ka only one section is there in your entire syllabus, and you will know that it is not that payment. Any other last try? 2 lakh. So 60,000. This is 30%. Okay, fantastic. This was casual winnings, jiska 30%. Inter में they ask like this only, इसके लिए I am giving you the option. No, otherwise fine. Otherwise देखो, then you go for option 1. नहीं, then you go for option. I clearly told you that they are going to give you questions which are, रुकना, they are going to give you questions like this. Look at this dividend figure on the credit side. Can you see this amount? Do you understand? So what do you have to do? You tell me, what do you have to do? 60,000 less from PGBP. Then 60,000 add to IFOS. And then finally, you subtract the TDS on this in your tax. Now, if you are not convenient or comfortable with the last option that I gave, your second option, best option is learn the important sections, because maximum questions come on them only once in a while, and adjustment like this will come. I am not denying. Or then your best way, if you ask me, sir, what is the best way to approach? Then learn all the sections. Okay, मेरे लिए तो it is so easy. I can tell you all rates of all the sections. Everything is there in the PDF. But how many of them you will be able to learn? And forget about that, how many of them you will be able to retain and reproduce in your exam answer paper? Which is why I am giving you this shortcut technique. This shortcut technique will also, abhi dekho na, here you got the correct answer in the very second attempt. Here you got the correct answer in the very first attempt. Here it took some time. But ultimately you did get the answer. Slight risk is involved. I do not disagree with that. But then to overcome that risk, your option is option 1. And the amount of time, energy and effort that will be consumed cannot justify the weightage of this chapter. If it was a chapter like PGBP, now that it is opening, if it was a chapter like PGBP, if it was a chapter of CA final, all right, this is where sections of CA final ka TDS ka chapter started. So do you realize employer, employee, rate, monetary limit, and all the points to be noted. Let's take any other section. Say section 192A. This is how we write every section in class. And you have to learn this the moment you enter CA. And every section you have to learn. Because weightage, na, 16 marks ka weightage bhi hai. Minimum 14 though it comes only. So the effort that we are putting, we have to put it. It is justified. In fact, in CA final, we have this class book, no, like we have our book. In that class book, we have full theory. And at the end of the chapter, I have a TDS table, section number, nature of payment, rate and monetary limit. A summary of the entire chapter for your quick reference. Next time you go for interview in any CA firm also, no? Believe me, dear students, if you are going for an interview also, check karna. Wherever that boss is sitting, that main boss, Next to that boss, it will be, his cabin ka wall, or there will be that notice board kind of a thing which is hanging on his wall, and there will be a TDS chart which he will pin on that notice board. Because even those bosses require regular reference of rate and monetary limit. They don't teach income tax. No, because I teach every day, I have memorized all the rates and I have not put effort in memorizing. Believe me, batch after batch I did it. After a point, they are all stored in my brain. If I teach you tax today and next lecture of tax maybe I take 6 months later, believe me, I may not be able to retain the rates and monetary limits. There are so many things in income tax law which are not a part of inter and final syllabus, both. There are certain things which are not even part of final syllabus. For example, CBDT removing circulars, coming up with notification. Everything does not come in exam. So if you will ask me question on a particular circular or notification or a particular case law given by some high court or supreme court, I don't have all of them memorized. Of course, the moment you give me reference, I will do my research, I will go through, I will be able to give an opinion about it. But you think that I have memorized all case laws? No, sir. You think I have memorized everything in taxation? No, sir. I have not memorized this also. I do every day, therefore it is in my mind. So as an intermediate student, the best option 1, is not something that you should waste time on. You can take your chance with option 2. I am to saying you can take your chance with option 3. There is scope of error, but that scope of error is very marginal. Most cases you will get the correct answer with this trick. It's a secret trick. Once in a while you don't get the correct answer, you have to take it as normal loss. In that 15 mark PGBP question, I just showed you the RTP. That will be a 15 mark PGBP question. If by chance this one adjustment, by chance, supposingly, this we were getting 20%, you may have probably made the mistake of taking 20% TDS. You will lose 1 mark or 1.5 mark of that adjustment. You still scored that other 13.5 marks. In PGBP question of 15 marks, there is no marking of the final answer. Every step of head less, no effect. Don't forget that. We do correctly, we get individual adjustment wise marks. PGBP question is not about total marks. Never about total marks. You will definitely get marks in everything else with the slight risk of losing 1.5 or 2 marks in that particular adjustment. And if you don't want to miss that much also, then bro, go for option 1, which I don't recommend to intermediate students. Is that clear? How we are going to approach the rates and monetary limits? Now let's go ahead with the further discussion. There is a section. A section is on the previous page, so I am just writing the section number here. 206 AA. Means section number is written here, no, but overlap. It is going to the previous page. Whose duties? Every duty in TDS is whose duty? Payer has to do all the duties. All duties of payer, deduct, deposit, etc. Now, as a payer, if I am the client, you are the CEO. I make your payment. I deduct TDS. I pay payment to the government also. Now I have to go and tell the government, this TDS ka credit you give to Rushed. This TDS ka credit you give to Ibrahim. This TDS ka credit you give to Ibrahim. This TDS ka credit you give to Gupta. He will say, which Gupta? Bro, every samosa wala is Gupta. Every bhel wala is also Gupta. Which Gupta should I give credit? He does not know your name. Income tax department does not have our identity on name basis. नहीं है भेल का शॉप, तभी फोकस करे काम पे. That time there are some people who are unwell but still they want to do time pass in class. Focus kar. What is the identity? What is our identity with income tax? Come on. How did you travel? कोलाबा ना? ये कोलाबा वाला कौन था? कोलाबा ना? The sea here, it goes up to Kolaba. I'll throw you over there, it will take you home. I will not let anyone say PAN number in my class. Huh? It's a crime. It's an unpardonable crime. What is our identity with income tax? PAN, permanent account number. So when I, the payer, will go and give money to the income tax department, I have to give identity of the payee, and that identity is PAN. How will I come to know your PAN? It is your duty, the payee, to give your PAN to the payer. See, all duties are of the payer. There is only one duty of the payee. That only one duty of the payee is furnish your pan. Furnish your pan. Acha, that also I don't have to do every day because pan is permanent. So first time I start working with any organization. In the first year, they take my pan, they take my Aadhaar, that's my KYC. Thereafter, they already have it in the records. But if you don't furnish, then you will have to face some consequence. You will be liable for higher TDS. The minimum TDS will be 20%. The minimum TDS will be 20%. When I say minimum TDS, why do I say that? Because it is 20% or actual rate, whichever is. Supposingly, the rate of TDS in that section is 1%. Everyone focus please. Rate of TDS is 1%. If you furnish PAN, it will be 1%. So you are the payee, huh? You have to give your PAN. So that I give to the income tax people. If you don't give me your PAN, then it will become 20. Section ka rate is 20. So whether you give PAN or you don't give PAN, it will remain 20. Section rate is 30. Then you give PAN or you don't give PAN, TDS will be 30. It is actual rate or 20%, whichever is higher. Actual rate or 20%, whichever is higher. So you furnish PAN, then as per section. You don't furnish PAN, so minimum 20% TDS. That means, can I say you are being subjected to higher TDS? Think about it as a payee. Your TDS as a professional is going to be what rate? My TDS as a professor with coaching classes, my TDS is going to be what rate? 10%. But if I don't give them PAN, what will be the TDS? 20%. And I won't get credit also. Use your brain. Use your brain, I won't get credit. Use your brain and tell me the reason why I will not get credit. Higher TDS, that also no credit. Why? Because if I have not furnished PAN, the payer won't be able to give my data. And if payer does not give my data, the income tax does not know whose money it is. I will never get credit. So higher TDS and no credit also. You understand? If payer does not furnish PAN, TDS will be minimum 20%. But there are two sections where, if I talk about these two sections, please listen to this. The normal rate of this section is 1%. There is a section called TDS on e-commerce transactions. I'll tell you briefly about this section with one example, which for the time being is enough. Supposingly, you are running a restaurant which is listed on Zomato. So the customer will make payment to Zomato through Zomato Money or Zomato Gold or UPI. Then Zomato has to make payment to the restaurant. So when Zomato is making payment, Zomato will be called the e-commerce operator because they are owners of the app. And the restaurant will be called e-commerce participant. So can I say ECO will pay ECP, Zomato will pay restaurant and deduct 1% TDS. That is section 194O. But if you don't furnish PAN, that one won't become 20, that one will become only 5% because 20 will become very high in these cases. And there is another section, purchase of goods. If you are buying goods from someone of more than 50 lakh rupees, is it a very high value transaction? Think about it. If I am buying goods from you, your garment ka shop, I come and buy 60 lakh ka goods. Is it a very high value transaction? As a shopkeeper, should you show that 60 lakh as sales in your income? Think about it. But there were some shopkeepers who are not showing that as income. Now listen, shopkeeper, you will have 0.1% TDS. Very low. That also after 50 lakh ka amount. So if the total is 60, TDS will come only on 10. If the total is 80, TDS will come only on 30. The sentence is this. Listen to the sentence. 0.1% on the excess over 50 lakhs. Correct? Now to claim this TDS credit, you will have to reflect your sales. What is the rate of TDS in sale of goods? Therefore, 0.1. 0.1. If you don't furnish PAN and it becomes 20, do you understand? We are making your TDS rate 200 times. 0.1 into 200 is 20. That will become very high. So here also the normal rate is 0.1%. But if you don't furnish PAN, it will not become 20. It will become 5. So ladies and gentlemen, normally rate of TDS is given. Normally rate of TDS is given in the section. In general, in the section. All duties on payer, but one duty on payee. What is that one duty on payee? Furnish your PAN. Furnish your PAN. If you don't furnish PAN, then the TDS will become minimum 20. But in two cases, it won't become 20. It will become 5%. E-commerce and sale of goods, of course, O, Q, all are upcoming sections. One bad news I do have, before Modi government, TDS in CA final was not a chapter of 7 lectures, it was a chapter of 3 lectures. Because it used to get over somewhere at 194I or L. In Modi government, they introduced M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. During Modi regime, in TDS ka chapter, they added M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. And in fact, most of them were added by Auntie only, not even Jetli ji. So last 5 years only, you can say. Auntie has in fact added 194T also. But she said it will be applicable from 1st April 25. So thankfully, you guys don't have to study. But next year, ka students have already have 194T in their syllabus. And if Auntie survives for some more years, which is very clearly visible, she may very well take it till Z. And if she is not happy with that also, she will start with ZA, ZB, ZC, Z. She can do anything. Anything. So huge number of sections have been added. In fact, TCS, the second part. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, before Modi government, TC has had only 3 parts and total used to get over in half an hour in CA final. CA final mate used to get over in half an hour. In 2020, when the world was fighting with COVID, Auntie added part 4 of TCS, Auntie added part 5 of TCS, and part 4 and 5 are so big that because of them, TCS now in CA final takes 1.5 hours. More than that, in fact. Which is why effective, the content of the chapter has increased so much that a chapter which used to get over in 3 lectures now gets over in 7 lectures. And more sections means more questions also. Gets over in 7 lectures. Size of the syllabus, amount of effort taken, number of lectures taken, number of hours taken, everything has increased. There is only one thing which has not increased. Payment of the faculty. I deserve a special appreciation only for that. See, every time I tell you do UPI, that you are not doing. Chalo, I understand also, sir. In student life, we also have limited budget. We are not earning. See, when you earn by yourself, you're financially independent. You know, you're not answerable to anyone why you are spending this or that. If you are borrowing money from parents, family members, anybody who is your legal guardian, etc., you are borrowing money from them. So I do understand that you can't be doing UPI, but you don't have to incur cost to appreciate someone. That you can do. Abhi nahi. Don't start clapping here. Publicly, bro. I will explain to you how to do it. Example, Google reviews of SS Pro Edu. You can give 5-star with an excellent review. Like literally, Zomato ka delivery boy wala feeling I am getting. Sir, please 5-star rating de then. Literally. One day my house was locked and the keys were not traceable. So we messaged in the society group any number of a key maker. We called that guy. He came rushing in 15 minutes. He made the key. Then he said, you want more keys? So he gave his address. Now address may you want Google location etc. not visible only. He just wrote opposite PVR cinemas. I am searching. I was searching for a shop. It was not a shop. He sits on a footpath with a table and a chair. Suddenly I saw a key maker. I was like, you Nandu bhai? Bola, ha. Sir, how many keys? He is sitting only on a footpath with a table and chair. With a machine. He made 4 duplicate keys of my house. He took the money. Then I said, sir, abhi 4 keys to thoda discount etc. When you came home in an emergency, we didn't bargain with you. But now to, in searching for your shop, I actually struggled because I was searching some shop opposite PVR. Finally, after making the keys and giving me discount, sir, are you happy with the discount? Of course I was. And he said, sir, check the keys, otherwise I will replace them also. And all the keys were working. And he was behind me, sir, now open Google in your phone. Sir, type Nandu key maker. Sir, you have to give me 5-star. I gave 5-star and I hit the submit button. Then he's like, Arey, sir, you have to write review also. You can't submit directly. You have to write also. I said, Achha hai bhai. How much you are paying me for that? Tell me that. Lol. So I am not paying you anything. But I gave you the hint, Google review. You can do that right now also during the class. I have no problem. It's okay. You can be distracted sometimes once in a while. No problem. Once in a while, I am allowing you to be distracted in class. So you can, नहीं, actually में क्या है, अभी right now you'll do no. In distraction, you'll only by mistake give less stars, तो again problem हो जाएगा. Okay. So, and plus you just don't have to give the stars. You have to write also proper, long review. Sir, looking to see you again in CA final. So I will give you extra time today. No, between my lecture and the next lecture. No, you have 1 hour, but break is only half an hour. So that 30 minutes ka time you can properly search on Chat GPT. Best possible review for my tax teacher. And Chat GPT ka pura you can paste. I think that will be more appropriate. You are the Gen Z. Learn how to use AI in your favor. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, listen. We will be learning all these sections, but as I told you, your focus should be Achij because maximum questions come from Achij. Then, till now we gave the payee only one duty. What was the only duty given to the payee so far? Furnish your PAN. Main duty of the payee is going to be furnish your PAN. But over the years, it was observed that there are a lot of people who are not filing their returns. We now also want to furnish non-filer of income tax return. See, there are 2 crimes that you are doing as a payee. Crime number 1, you are not giving your PAN to the payer. And crime number 2, you are not filing your income tax return. So, anybody who is a non-filer. So, what has the payee done? Not furnish return. Please focus because here you may probably go wrong if you don't pay attention. The immediately preceding previous year. Use your common sense. I am explaining this next section 206AB to you. Please understand. This is the previous year in which a payer is making payment to the payee. So I can't call you non-filer for this previous year on 1st April. How can I call you non-filer? Due date only comes here. So this previous year you have not filed return. How will you file return before this? So we are going to check which year ka return you have not filed. The immediately preceding previous year. So your exam previous year is 24-25. So what is the immediately preceding previous year? Wait please. Now there is a problem. Last year was, everyone focus. Last year was 23-24. We are now in 24. I am making payment to somebody on 1st April. So for 24-25, so I can never declare anyone a non-filer. Year has just started. Filing happens in assessment year. What if I make you understand this is complicated, this is tricky, everyone pay attention. On this date, I can't even declare you non-filer for this year. Even if this year is over. Why on 1st April you can't be considered as non-filer for 23-24? Use your brain. Because due date will come here now. For this PY, John will come here. That means if you miss this date, then you are non-filer of 23-24. But the previous year has already started. On 1st April of any year, we can't call you non-filer of the last year because the due date has not yet gone. You are considered a criminal only after due date. So we will skip this year. Look what they say. 139.1. What is 139.1? Time limit has expired. That means, do you realize I am on which date? 1st April. What is the immediately preceding previous year? 23-24. Is 139.1 of 23-24 over? No. So which is that year for which 139.1 is over? This is the year that you will take. See, listen. We have to go to the immediately preceding previous year for which due date is over. If 23-24 ka due date is not over, so we have to go one more year in the past. And therefore, we will go to 22-23. Simply put, on 1st April 24, I can declare you non-filer for 22-23, not for 23-24, and obviously not for 24-25 also. You understand? That means, look at what they are saying. We are declaring your payee what? A non-filer. But that can be declared only if you have not filed return of that year for which 139.1 time limit has expired. And the total TDS plus TCS of that year is 50,000 or more. If your TDS plus TCS of this year is 50,000 or more, and you have not filed return of this year, then in 24-25, the payee will be declared as a non-filer. That means in 24-25 we are going to check which year. Are you clear about this? In 24-25 we will be checking 22-23. In 24-25 we will be checking 22-23. You have not filed return of which year? 22-23. And 22-23 TDS plus TCS is 50,000 or more. Then you will get a stamp on your head. Non-filer. When does one become non-filer? Return not filed of 2 years ago. We can't see current year and last year. You understood the reason? Due date has not gone. Second, that year's TDS is plus TCS is 50,000 or more. Still you have not filed return. So you are going to be treated as non-filer. And what will happen? Your TDS will be 5% or double rate, whichever is higher. See, what was the consequence of not giving PAN? Section rate or 20%, whichever is higher. Two cases it was 5%. And what is the consequence of not furnishing ROI? Double or 5, whichever is higher. Supposingly section rate is 1%. So it will become 2 or 5, 5. Section rate is 2%. So 4 or 5, 5. Section rate is 10%. So 20. Section rate is 5%. So 10. You understood? Section rate is 0.1. So 0.2 or 5, 5%. Double rate or 5%, whichever is higher, is going to become what, sir? Your TDS if you are a non-filer. Stupid section. If someone has a TDS of 50,000, that's a condition, no? Do I have TDS in this year? 50,000? Then only I am non-filer. Supposingly I don't have TDS, I am not a non-filer. If I have TDS of 50,000, I will file return for that credit, Baba. This is a complete waste. And we have been telling government since so many years, sir, 206 AB is a total waste. Because 206 AB is triggered only for those people who have minimum 50,000 TDS. Anybody who has 5,000 TDS also will file return for getting that credit. Government has finally realized in the 2025 budget, which is not applicable to you, they have abolished 206 AB. They finally admit that we don't need it because anybody who has TDS will file return. They have abolished. But they have abolished also, it will be applicable for May 26. You understand now? Till January 26, this section is there and therefore we have studied. However, these 2 points you can ignore, that there are some cases where this section is not applicable. Just last point you have to focus on. Will there be some people who are doing double crime? Sir, what is double crime? What was the previous crime? I hope you have not forgotten. Not giving PAN. And what is this crime? Not filing ROI. There are two different crimes. Both have punishments. Those who don't give PAN, minimum 20%, sometimes 5%. And those who don't file return, double or 5, whichever is higher. Is it possible? I have done both crimes. Possible? Then what will I do? I will apply 206 AA, the previous section. Means minimum 20. Then I will apply 206 AB. That is this section. Double or 5, whichever is higher. Then from this answer and this answer, I will choose whichever is higher. That means we will give cumulative effect of both sections. Make sense? So this is something that you can learn, and that also you all are the last people who are learning. After you people, this section is getting abolished. No problem. Next question. What will be the time of deduction of TDS? What will be the time? Manhoos. It is so slow, no? It is not moving only, no? Very boring. See, listen. Sometimes some chapters are going to get boring. And just to make it interesting or entertaining, you can't be expecting me to do दिल चीज क्या है आप मेरी जान लीजिए. You can't be expecting me to do that only to entertain. What is boring is क्या बोले ये करो झूठी. You said something. मजा आएगा. You think I am राहुल गांधी? और ये जो मजा है मैं हिंदुस्तान के हर व्यक्ति को देना चाहता हूं. मजा आया. नो, खत्म, टाटा, बाय बाय, गुड बाय, गया. You've seen these memes or Google राहुल गांधी मजा आया, and that मजा आया is तो very famous. हाँ, करते हैं. We'll keep a separate. See, today and tomorrow my lectures will get over. In timetable they kept Saturday का lecture also. Then I told them I don't need, so you can give the other teacher whoever wants, etc. But timetable में currently they have kept. Supposingly they don't give other teacher. So we come here for 4 hours and we'll we'll remove all the benches from the class. We'll keep the camera somewhere on the wall so that our Zoom people also are able to watch, on the condition that they also are doing this at home with video on. We are to still in a group, we can make a circle, remove the benches, we can use the full dance floor. Just imagine how they must be looking at home dancing alone. We'll remove the benches and we will in a circle do this. One by one everyone has to come in the center. Everyone will get their 30 seconds of performance and then we'll do. Saturday done? Nahin na? So focus. When we say time of deduction, the question is simple. To execute a transaction, there are two events. Everyone focus please. A transaction gets completed when two things take place. First, I have appointed you as my auditor. That means, can I say you will come and perform audit on my books of accounts? After you complete the audit, you give me a bill, invoice. I will record the bill. Listen to the journal entry. Audit fees account debit to CA account, because I am following accrual basis. So I am booking the bill. We call it journal entry, JV. But now time will come to make payment. So when we make payment, what will be our journal entry? CA account debit to bank account. So CA cancel. Audit fees recorded in expense and to bank account payment. Possibility 2, I don't trust you. And my condition is that first I will take advance. Without advance, I will not work. You agree. You give me advance. What is your journal entry? CA account debit to bank account. And then finally, after completing audit, I give the bill. So you will say audit fees account debit to CA account. That means there are two events that are taking place. One, I am crediting your ledger account. Recording of your bill, which can happen first or second. We call it crediting the account of the pay. And 2, the payment entry. When will TDS come? When I credit your account, that is ledger account, or when I make payment. TDS will come at the time of credit or at the time of payment is the question. Are you understanding the question? Are you understanding the two transactions that are required to execute a transaction end to end? Crediting the account and then making payment. When will TDS come? At the time of credit or at the time of payment? TDS will come whichever is earlier. The duty to TDS comes at the time of whichever is earlier. Credit or payment, whichever is earlier. However, there are 9 cases in the chapter where TDS will come only and only at the time of actual payment. Only and only at the time of actual payment. There won't be any TDS. There won't be any TDS in crediting the account. Now, again, when you are in CA final, you have to learn this full list. Hey, don't turn the pages. I am giving you this PDF. You don't have to learn this. Whatever you have to learn, I will be telling you. And whatever you have to learn, that is appropriately presented even in the theory book that is given to you. In CA final, at the start of the chapter only I tell students, you learn this list. You learn this list. Because then what I do, I'll show you again. Can you see this section 192 here? Can you see the section here? I am writing time of deduction, payment. Sir, why payment? Because it falls in the list. If I talk about the next section 192A, that also falls in the list. 192, 192A. But if I talk about dividend, that does not fall in the list. So what is time of deduction, credit or payment, whichever is earlier. If I talk about distribution by mutual fund company, again it is earlier. So 9 cases I write at the time of payment and all other sections I write whichever is earlier. You understand how we approach the chapter again in CA final? And when I start the chapter, at that time only I give the list to the students that please learn, because in these 9 sections I will be writing payment. Every other case I will write whichever is earlier. Intermediate students are not required to learn that credit or payment whichever is earlier. As long as you know the basic rule whichever is earlier, it's okay to not even learn the remaining points. Whatever you have to learn, I will tell you. Still, of course, PDF is accessible to you. You can go through it if at all you want, but you don't have to learn it. And last question, I actually want to ask you the question before directly showing. This list you understand? What is the list you understand? I am saying don't have to learn, it's okay. My last question to you is, Last point in the introduction also. Then we go to individual section learning, where we will keep focus on Achich, but learn everything. Everyone is with me? Will there be TDS on personal payments? Means, listen, I am paying audit fees to auditor, that is business payment. Correct? Hai? But supposingly I am paying for filing my personal return, individual return, which has got nothing to do with my salaried employee, for example, is paying CA for filing his return. That's a personal expense. Correct or no? Supposingly Rushad, you know how excited he was to get married all throughout your syllabus. Now after marriage he is undergoing divorce because she knows him. So he will be making payment to the lawyer. Personal payment. Hai na? Do you understand? You understand? Supposingly Ibrahim wanted to ask me out because he told no crush kaun hai, starting with the letter S. So, but then he was, he knows my preferences, so he knows that directly asking like that does not make sense. He first goes and undergoes gender change operation. That will make him well equipped, better, in chances of approach. Bro, my answer is no. Don't incur unnecessary cost. We are just friends. We'll remain friends, only friends. And that also, there was a time I used to offer also friendship. I have stopped offering friendship to anyone because I make very few friends. But the ones which I make are the ones, बोलते ना के friends for life kind of वो है तो वो those secrets which you can tell only them and not even your parents or spouse or वैसा वाला friends. वो जो student teacher वाला जो friendship है ना, that still has some boundaries, that has lots of boundaries and limits. Still I used to be offering being cordial, and somewhere it is the selfish intention of the student also. Think about it. Being my friend मतलब mentorship का cost नहीं लगेगा. So some are like this greed is enough. But I have discontinued the offer altogether. That offer is forever withdrawn. Correct? Due to some experiences. Abhi I am very happy in my personal space. So we are just friends. This also I will say when you come after the operation. But don't do that, bro. Unnecessary cost you will incur. Correct? And hoga kuch. Again you will have to go for the operation. But whether this change or that change, are you going to pay the doctor? मेरा क्या कर? You have contacts over there. Saifi में how? Saifi is Boris, no? You are not Bori. पहचान बना. In my family, no one goes to Saifi. हम लोग नहीं जाते ही नहीं Saifi. If some relative or friend is admitted, no, to the extent possible, we avoid going for meeting also. We just talk on the phone. We have some really bad experience and extremely bad memories of Saifi Hospital. And for this reason, we never step into that hospital. I cannot forget that day of my life. It was possibly the worst day of my life. We don't go to Saifi. So, some other hospital. I was talking about him. He's like, sir, I will make you change your gender. See, whether you change your gender or I don't, I am not going to. You are going to make payment to the doctor. Do you realize these are personal payments? Supposingly rent of your residential house, is that a personal payment? Supposingly furnishing of your house. See, office furnishing is also contractor and house furnishing is also contractor. The question is, will there be TDS on personal payments or there will be TDS only on business payment? TDS will come on business payment, we understand. But on personal payment, will there be TDS? The question is, will there be TDS on personal payment? And you have to answer it, yes or no. Will there be TDS on personal payment? Yes. Only two cases we will not deduct TDS on personal payment. C for contractor and J professional fees. Means home furnishing contract, no TDS. But office furnishing contract, yes TDS. Office audit fees, yes TDS. But personal case fees or personal gender change operation fees, no TDS. All other cases, rent. Rent can be of house. Is that personal? Still there will be TDS. Salary, can it be personal? You can hire personal staff, personal bodyguards, etc. And going by the Gupta community of the classroom, you never know. Tomorrow is my last lecture and they are waiting for this. I have to very well carry some bodyguards along with me. Because tomorrow I will be fearing for my life. That is personal. Salary paid to them. Will there be TDS? Yes. Only two personal payments, there will be no TDS. The two personal payments are contractor and professional fees. Contractor and professional fees. Is that clear, everyone? Fantastic. Next, we have a concept called equalization levy, which is a very important part of CA final. A lot of questions come on that, but intermediate is removed. And equalization levy has two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 2 is to abolished from the law also from 1st August. So, when you come to CA final also, you may not have the privilege of learning part 2. That's not a privilege, by the way. Be happy that you don't have to learn it. Part 1 will be there. We will discuss when you come to CA final. But inter ke syllabus mein equalization levy is not there. Which brings us to now end of introduction of TDS ka chapter. We have understood how the chapter operates. Now we will have to go and learn one by one the various sections. Main target, see, we will learn everything written in the section, but the main target is going to be rate and monetary limit. And rate, most important target because of that gross net ka difference that I discussed with you today. One by one, we will go and learn the sections of TDS chapter. Everyone, first section, TDS on salary payment. You know them? I've shown you this before, I think. I have not shown you this before. And again, I must say that only, on the projector, the images are not clear. So the photos, you are not able to see them clearly. But in the tab, the images are crystal clear. The PDF where I upload in the app, it is going to be very, very clear. The problem is the setting of the projector. I often get this feeling that I should, change the setting, change the brightness, sharpness, etc. But my only fear is while doing that, if I end up spoiling the quality more, so whatever is visible, at least the text is visible. Okay. So if photos are not visible, then Mumbai students and South Indian students are at par, because South Indian students don't even know these characters, who they are. This is Hindi TV's most popular TV serial for the last, believe me, 16 years. For the last 16 years, this has been the most popular Hindi TV serial in entire North India. You leave the 4 states of South aside, and rest of India watches this with family every evening. Of late, somehow that family show, some words that they use sometimes, it becomes a non-family atmosphere also. Mananiya and Adarniya was, nahi pata? No problem. Baat na kar. They mixed Mananiya and Adarniya. Now, you in your mind calculate what they actually said on TV, national TV, family show. Chill, bro, chill. It's okay. It's okay. So, I am telling you, most popular. So popular that yesterday on Shivratri, I somehow could not stop myself. I had to actually go to YouTube, search TMKOC Shivratri special. And that was this 1 hour, 15 minute ka full, 3-4 episodes on that. So every episode is about 18 to 20 minutes with breaks and all. So 4-5 episodes merged together, and that entire sequence. I actually, for, I every night before going to bed, very bad habit. I motivate the whole world, but I am myself a victim of this bad habit. Unless and until I watch a movie or a web series or a few episodes, I don't get sleep on. So last moment of sleep is watching. Side ka button you press, stop the video and go off to sleep. That's the only way in which I get sleep. And please don't get motivated with this, because you don't follow everything that I say. You don't follow everything that I do. Do you come before time to class? Yes. So everything that sir does, we will do. Aisa nahi hai na? Because you never come before time. So don't follow this. Believe me, it's a very bad habit. So every day I have to see Sony Live or Prime or Amazon Prime or Hotstar, whatever is new, a new series or a new episode or a new movie. Netflix also at times. Yesterday, I watched this whole sequence for 1.5 hours, and that also, my wife is not very fond of this serial. She's like, "What nonsense you watch?" She watches Big Boss, and she calls me nonsense. I tell her that of late she watches Shark Tank a lot because she comes from a business family. She she tells me you are watching nonsense. I say, listen, you have got no idea. I watched it with my father. I watch it with my son. You have no idea. And if you sit with me, you will enjoy this like anything. You need a set of people who jointly enjoy, especially the old episodes. The episodes 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, they were crazy, crazy, crazy. So in that serial, this guy is the owner of an electronic store, and these guys are his employees. And therefore, considering the fact that the whole of India except 4 states of South relate to this very, very easily. To make an example of employer and employee in salary payment, I purposely picked up them only, except a few people from South who will not be able to relate to them. This is basically our life of last 1.5 decades. We have not watched this serial, we have actually lived this serial. These characters are, somewhere a part of our daily life, bro. Especially this guy, every morning he gets up, no, he has a new problem. Sometimes he has misplaced his check, which some big payment has come. Sometimes his cash is missing. Sometimes his employees have gone on a strike. Sometimes his employee has announced an offer that if you buy TV from my shop, you will get free pani puri. But that pani puri vendor has run away, so this guy is going and selling pani puris. So every morning there is a new problem. Somehow I am able to relate to this character because my life somehow has been always same. Every problem I try to get rid of, next day there is some other problem. Every day there is a new problem. And this guy is extremely fond of his neighbor's wife. Extremely fond of his neighbor's wife. At 4 o'clock in the morning, if there is any society trouble and everyone wakes up, everyone in the society gathers. So everyone is discussing the problem in the society, that some thief had come or anything. And he is talking to his neighbor. Like, अब तो सुबह सुबह भी कितना अच्छा है ना, सुबह सुबह चांद देख लिया, बबीता जी, बबीता जी. So this is basically life, bro, life. Okay, call me old fashioned, call me outdated, call me whatever names you want to give me, but bro, without using a single abusive word, without any kind of non-veg or corrupt comedy, only pure and pure situational based comedy. If someone can make you laugh for 16 years, and 16 years is long, people are successful, they see success, they come down. How long are you able to survive at the top is your bigger success, and they are still not moving from the top. Sir, but we have stopped watching because you are not a teenager anymore. When we used to go to college as teenagers, we used to enjoy this. Audience has matured. Show ka theme is still the same. Still the same. So you like it or hate it, but at least everyone knows them. Everyone. Of course, South Indian students, I am not asking this question because I know the answer. Other people, Mumbai ka students. Any student here who has never watched this or does not know them? Any student here never watched it, does not know them? Yeah. You know them? You watch? Because if you've not watched it, you need counseling, you need therapy, you have had a troubled childhood, your uncle probably touched you inappropriately during childhood. If you don't know that, you had a very, very bad childhood, I'm telling you. You need counseling. You need to see a psychiatrist if you don't know that. Fact. So can I say employer is going to pay salary to the employee? We already know that in salary ka section they have not given us rate 1, 2, 3, 4. What have they said? Full tax at applicable rates. And your doubt will be answered now. During the year, salary can change. I'll come to that. But before that, let us discuss the other points. Is there any rate given in this section like other sections? No, there is no rate, no rate, no rate. You have to deduct full tax at applicable rates. Full tax at applicable rates. What if there is no tax only? Supposing your employee ka salary is 20,000 per month. So annual salary is 2,40,000. No tax liability. No need to deduct TDS. Salary TDS is basically his tax. You have to deduct as TDS. Tax equal to TDS. TDS equal to tax. Tax equal to TDS. TDS equal to tax. Ta-da-dung-dung, ta-da-dung-dung. Tax equal to TDS. TDS equal to tax. If there is no tax payable, there will be no TDS. Make sense? Now to answer your doubt, this is the answer. Can your income computation during the year change? Due to change in salary? Due to change in job? Due to some other source of income being added? Due to you taking suddenly in the middle of the year life insurance, medical insurance, etc., which also has an impact on your NTTI? Every transaction that has material impact on your NTTI. Every transaction that has material impact on your NTTI is going to be changing the TDS that is going to be deducted. Is going to be changing the TDS that will be deducted. Do you agree and understand this? Every transaction that has material impact is going to change the TDS. Supposing the starting of the year your salary was 20,000. The estimated NTTI 2,40,000. Boss did not deduct TDS. But suddenly during the year your salary was changed to 80,000. So what will happen? 80,000 of the remaining months plus 20,000 ka salary that you have already received for the existing months. That's your total salary. We will have a revised tax estimate that we will divide by the balance months. Balance months, supposingly April, May, June, you have received 20,000 without TDS. From July, it is becoming 80. So what is your salary? 80,000 into 9 months plus 20,000 into 3 months. Total salary, deductions, etc. will give you NTTI. On that, we will calculate tax. This tax we have to deduct. Divide by 9 because first 3 months are over. So that is how in salaried cases we keep on modifying the TDS figures. It can be on a month-on-month basis also. Every time there is something that changes your salary, it will also changes your NTTI. It will also change your TDS, which is going to be applicable. So big question arises. Only practical. Now exam perspective, you've understood full tax has to be deducted. Practical life, I am explaining to you. Sir, large corporates must be having thousands of employees. All employees ka salary we estimate at the beginning of the year. But every month there will be some change. One employee comes in the month of May and says, sir, I have paid life insurance premium. Other employee comes and says in the month of June that I have paid medical insurance premium. Third employee comes and says, sir, I have earned income from stock market. Fourth comes and says, sir, I have earned rent. Every time a transaction like that is taking place, will it change your total income? Correct? Will it change your total tax? And total tax is also TDS. So can I say the revised estimate will be divided over the remaining months? Every time. So bro, for every employee, we will have to keep one accountant, I think. We don't even understand, you employee or me employee. Every time you have a change in your financial transaction, I have to record. It was getting difficult for the corporates. So how do corporates incorporate this funda in real life? I will explain. I have seen a real life case. My brother, after finishing his MBA, civil engineering, carpenter, then MBA, he did Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, 40 lakh rupees. Then he worked in a few companies. Now he has started his own brand. So my brother was working with a company called Godrej Consumer Products. Then he changed multiple jobs from Godrej to Amazon, Amazon to Zepto, Zepto to L'Oreal. Finally, his own company. Corporate employees in our country do not survive in a job, any job for more than 2 years. And then on the other side, we have professors who are stuck with the same organization year after year after year without any increment. Don't waste effort. You please understand. Please understand. When my brother was working for Godrej, Godrej gave him user ID and password of one employee account. He had to log into that account, and over there, his income computation ka statement was there, with all figures blank, you have to enter. Salary was already entered by the company. Company was aware of the salary. See how astrologer. No, they are only paying, so they know the salary. There was space for writing your rental income, space for writing any other business profession, bank interest, your stock market transactions. You have the option of saying I don't have any other income. After that, that is GTI. There was a blank space, 80C. You have to manually enter all the figures. 80C, that is life insurance. 80D, that is medical insurance. Correct? You had to enter. Now my brother came and asked me, what should I write in 80C? I don't give free tax consultancy to anyone. But abhi brother hai, that also younger, so little you have to do. I said, see, 80C is basically investments. Take your total and restrict it to 1,50,000. What investment you are making? He said, I am still thinking. Little company is putting in provident fund, so employee contribution to provident fund. I'll see if I'll buy some life insurance or anything. Right now, I am not sure. So I said that if you're not sure, so you put only what you are sure about. Say your actual expense, you are going to invest only 20,000. So enter only 20. He's like, no, everyone in my office is putting 1,50,000. I said that is the maximum limit. If you invest more than 150, you get deduction of 150. If you invest less, it will be less. If you don't invest, it will be 0. He's like, no, everyone is putting 150. You don't know anything. I don't know anything. Maybe I don't know how to eat, walk, sleep, dance, sing. I don't know anything in tax. Bro, this is the only thing that I know. Tax when you are saying I don't know. But then that is how younger children in Indian households are made. They don't have brains. And they don't have any reasoning or logic or rationale behind their argument. They just want to argue without any logic. That's the typical definition of younger child. In Indian household, nahi, everywhere. They want to argue without reason. I was like, put whatever you want to. Please don't irritate. Then he said, take it. 80D. I again said, 80D ka limit is 25,000. And for parents ka separate category 25. That also if parents are senior citizens, then 60, 50,000, 60 ka age. But my mother turned 60 only last year. So this is some years ago. At that time, my mother was in her 50s. So I said, your limit is 25, mom ka limit is 25, but that also you have to see actual or 25, whichever is. He's like, I am not taking any medical insurance for myself because company is promising healthcare expense if incurred. I said, fine. Mom ka to I have been paying since so many years. You are to currently joining as employee and earning income first time in life. So for so many years, I am only paying. He's like, how much you are paying? I gave him the amount. He's like, okay, I will write this amount. I was like, okay, so you are paying from this year because you... No, you pay. I will just take deduction. Listen, I am paying, so I am taking the deduction already. So two people can't. Like, how they will come to know that you and me are taking deduction of mom's insurance? Both of us. And supposedly they come to know that you don't take, I will take. I should pay and he should take deduction. Was basically younger child. And in that also he wanted to write 25 both because everyone in his office is doing. So he just wrote those amounts. In fact, all the amounts written in the statement were by choice. He's like, see, company has accepted 1,50,000 in 80C. Company has accepted 25 plus 25 in 80D. You don't know only anything. Fantastic. So company has taken total income as declared by him. Deductions are declared, NTTI. On that calculated tax, those days there was only old regime, there was no new regime. And every month company started deducting. And he thought he was right. Somewhere in the month of January, he got email from HR department. HR, you all know. Human resource. Rangoli they make outside office in Diwali. HR department knows only that. So HR department sent email that at the beginning of the year, you had given your computation. We now reopen the window if you want to make any change in that because your incomes that you have declared earlier may be changing. And for the deductions that you have recorded in that statement, kindly furnish proof of payment. Because you've written 150, 25, 25 only if you have made payment. Brother ko you can't give parents ka abuse, isn't it? Your own real brother. You can't to your own real brother go and say, Tera baap ye, teri maa. You can't know your own real brother. You can't go and say all that. You don't understand the logic. We'll keep a lecture. You understand? You can't give abuses to your brother because every abuse you give hits you back. I just did not react, and I was like, कभी कभी लगता है अपुनी भगवान. You seen Sacred Games? नवाजुद्दीन सिद्दीकी. कभी कभी लगता है अपुनी भगवान. Lol. Corporate salary will change during the year, no? Company can't be recording your month-on-month transactions. Company is the employer, just in case it was not clear to you. You are the employee. They are not the employee. So they will give you one chance at the beginning of the year. अटक गया? बोलता नहीं है तुम लोग. Hello. Company is going to give you 2 chances during the year. Chance number 1, beginning of the year. Chance number 2, near the end of the year, where they will change the modifications that you want to give. Revised NTTI, revised tax, whatever they have already deducted during the year, that they will adjust, and remaining months they will adjust the balance. This is how practical life mein it is going to be given effect to. Is that clear, everyone? Next, you know those 9 cases where TDS will come only at the time of payment. This is in that list. So okay, I told you not to learn that. Obviously TDS will be calculated after taking all exemptions, deductions, rebate, relief. Obviously no, survive, because full tax considers everything. Correct or no? And if you are working for more than one employer, so you will have to submit the details. See, stupid question I will ask you. Income tax is payable on salary income or total income? Total income. Your employer knows your salary income. How? Thank you. He is going to pay. But your employer does not know your other income. You furnish all the details to your employer, not just your other employer ka detail. You can in fact submit all your other incomes ka data so that your employer considers everything and deducts TDS on the total. You don't have to do anything. But then, can some of your heads of income have losses also? Correct? See, salary he knows. Other than salary, we have house property, PGBP, capital gain, other sources. Whatever incomes I have, I will give it to him. Will he take all the incomes? Because that is how he will calculate my total income and deduct my TDS. But can some of the other 4 heads have losses? And do we get set off of losses? So for TDS purpose, they allow only house property loss. This is a big mistake in the income tax law. If I am giving profits, employer will take which head? All. If I am giving losses, employer will take which head? Only house property. This is a mistake. But before I start explaining, some students say, no, sir, this is correct only. Can house property loss be adjusted against salary income? Yes, therefore he is considered. Business loss can't be adjusted against salary income. So they are not allowed. Capital loss can't be adjusted against any other head of income. Inter-head is only not allowed. So they are not allowed. Sir, it is correct. No, sir. Other sources loss can be adjusted against salary. But that they are not considered. Is it not a mistake? Think about it. Other than salary, is it possible during the year I sold 2 capital assets? So I have 2 capital gain transactions. Can one be profit, other be loss? The loss I can't adjust against salary, but against capital gain I can adjust. Supposingly 10 lakh salary. Capital gain 5 lakh. Will he take 5 lakh? Yes. Capital loss 2 lakh. I am not asking you to adjust my 2 lakh against salary. But can my capital loss be adjusted against my 5 lakh capital gain? Adjust that? No, sir. He is not allowed. So with which what will happen? Your employer will take your salary 10 lakh, capital gain 15 lakh and deduct TDS on 15. Please listen. But is 15 lakh my taxable income during the year? No. Now I will have to file my return. Show salary income of 10 lakh. You are understanding the figures. Show capital gain 5 lakh minus set off 2 lakh. So capital gain 3 lakh. So actual taxable income is only 13 lakh. Tax liability will be calculated only on 13 lakh. TDS has been deducted on 15 lakh. So whatever extra TDS is deducted, I will have to wait for refund. Because profits he will take which head? All profits. But losses he will take only other losses. He is not allowed. Which is a big mistake. And you know how this mistake can be rectified. See this statement if you understand. See this statement. If I change this point F to Consider any eligible loss as per set of chapter. If the loss is eligible in NTTI, take it. So house property can come against salary. IFOS can also come against salary. Business or capital loss can't come against salary, but internally they can be adjusted. No, if I have one profit, one loss. Consider any eligible loss instead of saying consider only house property loss can rectify this mistake. And you know when this mistake will be rectified? I'll tell you. One day when I become the finance minister of the country, very soon, it is a matter of time, talks are going on, announcement can come at any time. I will still complete your batch tomorrow. I will still complete your batch. Tomorrow, no, bro. Are you understanding? So, only house property loss will be taken into account for TDS purposes. But are we trying to say that only house property loss will be eligible for set of? No, sir. No. That we will go and check set of chapter. So, if I am eligible in my NTTI, I will adjust. Obviously, TDS will be on higher amount. I will have to wait for refund. Unnecessary extra exercise and can be rectified by saying what? Consider any eligible loss. Did you understand, Mitro? Finally, last point of salary chapter, that is section, salary section 10-10-CC. 10-10-CC, anyone? Huh? The smartest have read the remaining point and guessed it. Well, sir, 10-10-CC you are asking, but we can read the full point G and guess also. Tax paid by employer on non-monetary perquisites provided to the employee directly to the government. So listen, your boss is giving you salary plus perquisites. Are salary plus perquisites both of them taxable? But perquisite ka tax boss has already paid. Hello? That means you don't have to pay that much. You remember now 10-10-CC? Now how does it affect TDS chapter? This is very simple. This is very simple. My total tax liability is tax calculated on salary plus perquisite. But one portion of my total tax liability is already paid by my employer. Which portion? The tax on perquisites has been already paid by my employer. That means I have to pay only the remaining. And if I have to pay only the remaining, my TDS will also be only the remaining part. Do you understand this? My salary computation will contain my basic salary plus my perquisites. Do you understand perquisites are taxable? So this is my taxable amount. On this taxable amount, I will be calculating tax. This tax will be divided in the ratio of how much tax is calculated on my basic salary and how much tax is calculated on my perquisites. Who is paying this tax? Paid by employer. This is the 10-10-CC wala tax. So that means a portion of my tax is already paid. That means this is the tax that will be borne by the employee. And do you understand? Therefore, this is the TDS that is going to be deducted. Now, do you understand? This is the TDS that will be deducted. Because whatever I have to bear, only that much will be TDS. Whatever employer has already paid, that is not my TDS. Correct or no? Everyone? Fantastic. This is your section, TDS on salary. If you remember a few things of salary chapter, no, then this will become very, very easy for you. But how much you remember, that you and me both know by now? See, if you are confidently saying, no, sir, we remember everything because we have reached additional question bank of salary. Finally. Ho gaya hai. Then tell me that when I withdraw money from recognized provident fund, it is exempt. And if it is exempt, how can it come in TDS? Maturity of RPF is exempt. Maturity is taxable only in unrecognized. So that means maturity of RPF is exempt. And we have studied this. Exempt income matlab no TDS. But then how come? How? If we withdraw premature. Now do you remember that RPF maturity is exempt only if you complete, only if premature, only if you complete 5 years at one employer, or transfer balance from employer to employer, or any other genuine reason, or employer business ceases to exist, then it is exempt. Otherwise, RPF maturity is going to be taxable. You understand? Or do you remember? Go check the table that we studied in salary chapter. 4 columns: SPF, RPF, URPF, PPF. We are talking about maturity of RPF. Maturity of RPF is exempt, but premature is taxable, and TDS can come only in those cases. TDS can come only on those cases. That means, can I say I'm withdrawing money from my RPF before time? Is that going to be taxable? Is that going to be taxable? There will be TDS. What is the rate of TDS? 10%. When will this TDS come? When the withdrawal is 50,000 or more. When the withdrawal is 50,000 or more. Okay, wait. Certain things I wish to clear. First, supposingly I withdraw 40,000. Premature. Because this, for those who don't remember, RPF maturity is exempt if minimum 5 years, or transfer balance, or employer business stops, or any other genuine reason. That means if I fall in any of these cases, it is going to be exempt. If I don't fall in any of these cases, then my RPF maturity, that premature that I have withdrawn, will be taxable, even if it is 1 rupee. Let's be clear about that. Let's be clear about this fact. Let's be clear about this part, that premature withdrawal from RPF is going to be taxable, even if it is 1 rupee. Even if it is 1 rupee. Sir, no, you are saying wrong, sir. Either to 50,000 they have given. So this 50,000 is the monetary threshold for TDS. In fact, any other section or payment also, that is also going to be taxable, even if 1 rupee, means unless it is covered in exempt income chapter. If a particular income is exempt, for example, share of profit from partnership firm, for example, agriculture income, then that is specifically exempt. All other payments are taxable. CA getting 1 rupee is taxable. Sandwich wala getting 1 rupee, tea seller getting 1 rupee, all of that is taxable. You have to be clear that the monetary threshold which is given in every section, 50,000 is an example here. Different sections, different limit. Professional fees, to by now we did it so often, so you memorize that it is 30,000. The monetary limit given is not to decide whether the income is taxable or exempt. The monetary limit is for TDS. If the monetary limit of TDS is exceeded, then only TDS will come. Otherwise, TDS will not come. Are you clear? So, if I withdraw 1 rupee, taxable. Okay, wait. If I withdraw after maturity, after 5 years, then it is exempt, even if it is crores of rupees. No question of TDS. Taxability will come only and only if it is premature. If it is premature, will it be taxable? Sir, what if it is less than 50,000? Will it be taxable? Sir, it is 40,000. Will it be taxable? Yes. Sir, it is exact 50,000. Which will it be taxable? Bro, 1 rupee also taxable. Correct? Now let's talk about TDS. If I get 40,000, income is taxable, but no TDS. If I get 45,000, income is taxable. Premature only I am asking. Income is taxable, but no TDS. If I withdraw 50,000, income is taxable. Will there be TDS? 50 only. Because in this case, they have given equal to. So, exact 50 will attract TDS. Now, let's be clear. In CA exams, they will not ask you 40,000 or 60,000. If they ask 40,000, everyone knows no TDS. If they ask 60,000, everyone knows yes TDS. By the way, 40,000 also no TDS, but income is taxable because it is premature. In exam, they will ask you 50,000. Those who don't learn monetary limit, those who learn monetary limit and know 50,000 will also get confused. Because, sir, exact 50, and I have some really bad news to give you. That monetary limit in this chapter is fluctuating, not just in terms of amount. Some sections in the chapter that exact amount equal to will also attract TDS. And some sections in the chapter, it is greater than, for example, professional fees. It is greater than 30,000. So if the coaching class is giving me 25,000, definitely no TDS. 35,000, definitely yes TDS. But they will ask question on 30,000 and your answer is no TDS because equal to is not. So equal to 30 in 194J, no TDS. But equal to 50 in 192A, yes TDS. It's a big problem. And this problem, even those who learn all the amounts will face. What is the solution to this problem? I will make your life easy. I will make your life easier. This is going to solve your problem. Greater than equal to is covered in 3 sections. Only 3 sections of the chapter where that equal to amount, where that exact amount equal to amount will attract TDS. First we just did 192A, that is premature. That is only taxable, no? RPF. What is that amount? It will attract TDS. Later in the chapter, we will come across a section 194DA, payment by life insurance company. This also you have to relate to exempt income chapter. When we get money from life insurance company, it is exempt. Death cases always exempt. Maturity cases also exempt if you stay within your limits. The premium 20, 10 and 15%. And then there is rupees limit also after 1, 4, 23, 5 lakh ka limit. If it is within limit, it will be exempt. If the premium is more than the limit, it will be taxable. 1 rupee also will be taxable. TDS will come if it is 1 lakh or more. Exact 1 lakh also there will be TDS. And one last section that later I will do with you. Purchase of immovable property. If you buy immovable property of rupees 50 lakh or more, do you understand buyer is payer and seller is payee? Buyer will deduct TDS of seller even if it is exact 50 lakh. Ladies and gentlemen, only 3 sections of the chapter, attract TDS at exact amount equal to 1 amount. Only 3 sections. All other sections it is greater than. Now then, if you know the monetary limit, professional fees, exact 30,000, no TDS. Interest, there are 3 amounts, 5,000, 40,000, 50,000. All the cases equal to amount, no TDS. Commission 15,000, no TDS. Rent 2,40,000, no TDS. There are only 3 sections where equal to will attract TDS. And in the beginning of the chapter only we come across one of them. 192A, premature withdrawal from RPF will attract TDS if it is exact 50,000 also. So at 40,000, no TDS, but taxable at 60,000, yes TDS, and of course taxable then only yes TDS. At 50,000, taxable and yes TDS. Is that clear? 3 sections will attract TDS. First is RPF. As we move further in the chapter, we will keep on revising this so that by the end of the chapter, this equal to part wala is clear to you. 192A, exact 50,000 also is going to be attracting TDS. Now, there was a question in CA final exam on this section. Mr. X, an employee, has withdrawn money from his provident fund. They had given the dates. The time was only 4 years. That means he has withdrawn PF money within 4 years. Is that premature, taxable or exempt? Supposingly the question is giving only 40,000. Taxable or exempt? Taxable, but no TDS. You understood that very clear. Question, the amount was given as 60,000 rupees. Taxable? Yes, TDS. Achha, if it was exact 50, still taxable and TDS. So at 60, yes, taxable and TDS. Taxable and TDS. Correct? Eh? Now, there were 4 options. Option 1, 6,000. Option 2, 600. अरे 60,000 का पेमेंट था ना, तो ऑप्शन 1 6,000, ऑप्शन 2 600, ऑप्शन 3 3,000, 5% पे क्या 3,000, ऑप्शन 4 54,000. व्हाट्स योर आंसर? पूछा क्या था? Because in over enthusiasm, especially those who know the rate, is your answer taxable? Is your answer yes, TDS? Correct? Eh? Now, supposingly someone knows the rate also, you possibly are the most hardworking and the brightest. If you know the monetary limit as well as the rate, then you have worked the hardest. You applied the correct rate of 10% on 60,000. What is your TDS per amount? 6,000. Any student who gets 6,000 as the TDS amount has got proper knowledge of the, because that student knows applicability of TDS also, that student knows the rate of TDS also, and 6,000 is the TDS amount. Correct? Eh? All those over enthusiastic students chose option 1, 6,000, 6,000, because option 2, 600 was calculated at 1%. Option 3, 3,000 was calculated at 5%. And option 4 was the nonsense amount, 54,000. The question was, how much money should be released to the payee? And the answer was the last option, 54,000. You have to know the question understood. Question understood. How much money should be released? If your 6,000 is correct, your answer is 54,000. They are not testing whether you know the law. Someone who has calculated 6,000 knows the law. Without that, you can't get only the answer. Knowing the law and getting marks, oh bro, you see the difference here? But yes, that is what they did. So final answer was 50. Of course, once you know the law, you have to read the question carefully. TDS, this also comes in the list of at the time of payment. This point is abolished actually, so you can cancel this. I am cancelling it only, so it will be visible to you in the PDF, and only if the withdrawal is taxable, that we have already studied. Next is section 193, which is talking about interest on, please focus, interest on securities. Means which interest are we talking about? Interest on bonds, debentures. Hello? Are we investing in companies by buying their bonds? Will they give us interest? There is TDS of 10%. And believe me, dear students, believe me, I am not making this up. Otherwise, some of you all at least will come to know 3 years later. Even in CA final, I tell students only, read the section. Read, because it has never been asked in the last 1.5 decades. So read the section. Inter, though you don't read, still it is fine. But out of habit of saying read once, I am just saying read once. It's okay if you don't read also. And this brings us to the next section, 194, TDS on dividend income. You understand dividend is an income for the shareholder. So the company which is paying dividend will deduct your tax. Gross amount you will write in IFOS, and TDS deducted, you take credit, like we studied at the beginning of today's lecture. Who will deduct this TDS? A domestic company will deduct TDS. Domestic company, Indian company, shame to shame. No. All Indian companies and any foreign company that makes arrangement of distribution of dividend in India. Correct? Hai? Will be deducting 10% TDS. So every time you get dividend on your equity shares, you will get 90%. Sir, why 90%? Because 10% is TDS. What is the monetary limit? Observe this. Any amount. Means you are getting 500 rupees also, there will be TDS of 10%. You are getting 50 rupees also, there will be 5 rupees TDS. Because they have not given any monetary threshold. That means any amount, there will be TDS. Do you understand? In a section where they give 50,000 ka limit, we start TDS after that amount. But in a section where they don't give any limit, that means we have to deduct TDS from the very first rupee. Do you understand? But subject to the following exceptions. So simply put, can we conclude dividend income will attract 10% TDS? Hello? But there will be no TDS if the shareholder is an insurance company. Do you understand? Pay is who? Who is the pay? In dividend, who is the pay? Shareholder. If the shareholder is LIC, Life Insurance Corporation, General Insurance Corporation, or any other insurance company, no TDS. Why? Throughout your syllabus, we have discussed why government, other insurer can be private company also. I'll tell you the logic. Throughout your syllabus, I have discussed that biggest investors of equity markets are insurance companies. They decide whether there will be, the market will be up or down, is basically their call. You buying 10 shares of Adani, then you think, oh wow, Adani has gone up because of me. Lol. Insurance companies are the biggest investors. That means insurance companies are also going to get the biggest dividend. And where are they going to use this dividend? To pay claims of people. If they get less cash because of TDS, see, ultimately TDS is not a tax recovery of the government. You get credit at the end of the year. If they get less money, they will have cash flow crisis to pay their claims. We don't want insurance companies to suffer this TDS problem, and therefore insurance companies will not have any TDS. 8 minutes. Now I want to see whether you are understanding the chapter. Supposingly life insurance corporation. It will have huge amount of equity investments. It will get dividend. Will there be TDS? No. So for life insurance corporation, the dividend income is exempt from tax. Nonsense! Income is exempt from levy of and tax and TDS are two different things. If income is exempt, definitely there will be no TDS. But if income is taxable, there can be TDS, there may not be TDS. Is the income taxable? Yes. Yes. Will there be TDS? No. No. ये clear है everyone? And second, what is the monetary limit given in this section? Nothing. That means, can I say 500 rupees or 50 rupees dividend will also attract TDS? But for small investors, we don't want to increase unnecessary burden. So if the pay means, you understand, shareholder is a resident individual and you are not paying dividend in cash. Believe me, no one pays dividend in cash these days. All the dividend is directly credited in the bank statement through NEFT. So condition 2 is assumed to be satisfied, and the total dividend that you are earning is up to rupees 5,000 in a year. What is your total dividend during the year? 5,000. Equal to 5,000 also. So there will be no TDS, because TDS will come only when it is greater than. 3 places were equal to covers TDS, and these are only these 3 places. That means, in simple language, normally in this section there is no monetary limit. Every rupee will attract TDS. But if the shareholder is a resident individual, then there is monetary limit of 5,000. Till 5,000 there won't be TDS. Take me. Supposingly as a shareholder, I earn 4,000. No TDS because I am resident individual, non-cash. But that 4,000 is also taxable income. You understood? I am shareholder of a company, Adani Enterprises. I have 10 shares. You want to laugh at that investment? No. 10 shares. Adani Enterprises declared a dividend of 1 rupees 20 paisa per share, which gave me a total dividend of 12 rupees. 12 rupees dividend I got from Adani. No TDS. Why? Resident individual, non-cash, and up to 5,000. But that 12 rupees is also taxable for. That is clear. So this monetary limit is only for TDS. Everyone is clear. Adani did not deduct my TDS because you think I went abroad ever? No problem. If you spend 182 days, you are still resident. Am I resident individual? Of course, all dividends are non-cash, and Adani ka dividend was only 12 rupees. So Adani can't deduct my tax. See, obviously, when we say 5,000 ka limit, you can't check my total dividend for the year. If I am a shareholder of Adani Enterprises and if I am a shareholder of Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, 2 different companies, Adani is aware only of 12 rupees. Adani does not know what BPCL has paid me. Adani does not even know that I am shareholder of BPCL. So obviously monetary limit will be you paying me. It can't be total monetary limit. No. You paid me only 12 rupees. You won't deduct TDS. I'll talk about BPCL. I was shareholder of BPCL also until recently. I had 160 shares of BPCL, which I had purchased at a price of 465. Total investment being 74,400 rupees. I sold the share at a loss, but that loss was recovered much earlier because BPCL is a very, very heavily dividend paying company. So whatever was the loss, I did recover in the form of dividend. BPCL first declared 5 rupees per share at the beginning of the financial year. So they gave me dividend of, I had 160 shares, no? They gave me dividend of 800. BPCL did not deduct my TDS. Why? I am resident individual, less than 5,000. Then in the same year, BPCL declared 58 rupees dividend. 58 rupees per share, giving me dividend of 9,280. They deducted TDS. Why? Aggregate has crossed 5,000, and that is only between BPCL and me. Still, Adani is not interested in 12 rupees. Adani is not deducted. Now, if you understand this, I'll be very happy. In the same year, BPCL gave me further 5 rupees. Very heavy dividend paying company, as I told you. Further 5 rupees. That means this is only 800. Will there be TDS? Yes! Because annual 5,000 ka limit is already crossed. Annual 5,000 ka limit is already crossed. You understood? So it is once you cross 5,000, that company will start deducting. Still other companies are not interested in that. Other company will see if that has paid me more than 5,000. It is always going to be pair pay. Of course. Now supposingly Adani Enterprises, me it paid only 12 rupees. There is another shareholder who got 10,000 rupees. Will the company Adani deduct that shareholder's TDS? But that does not mean that 10,000 has crossed limit, so my TDS also will come. Because my TDS is only, my dividend is only 12 rupees. So it is always per payer, per payee monetary limit. We don't have to see, the payer does not have to see his transaction with other people. The payee does not have to see his transaction with other people. Whenever we say monetary limit, it is me paying you receiving from me. Your other transactions and my other transactions will not come in this calculation, obviously. So Adani did not deduct my TDS. BPCL also did not for the first transaction, but second and third transaction they deducted. Supposingly this shareholder was not me, it was my HUF or my LLP or my company through which I purchased BPCL shares. Then this transaction will also attract TDS, because this benefit is given only for resident individuals. Did you understand this? Mitro, you are clearly following? Finally, what our government wants is, they want to retain this right, that whenever we want to give any kind of immunity, we will grant that. So if there is any notified person whom they want to grant immunity, they can release an announcement and grant this immunity. This helps in practical implementation of direct tax law. It has got nothing to do with your examination approach. For examination, you got to know 3 things. 1, normally no monetary limit. 2, some cases there is 5,000 limit. And 3, whatever be the limit, TDS in this section is 10%. Is that clear? So you are understanding, we are not skipping any section. We are not skipping any theory or explanation. We have cancelled what is not a part of inter-syllabus, but we are only saving our writing wala time, which makes sense at intermediate. Alright, we'll take a break of 10 minutes and we'll continue this. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Let's go ahead. Everyone, oh, utho. Sleeping people, sleeping partners, utho. Let us go ahead. Next section. See, I still did not desire to give you break till 3 o'clock. You know, you always observe my nature. I try to give the break as late as possible, because after that break, it is like, oh, abhi to itna ye nikal jayega. I try to give you, there is a particular intention. Even if I take a 5-hour lecture, no, even if I take a 10, 12-hour lecture, first break I give after 3 hours only. Because I genuinely believe that in 3 hours, you can't get tired if you're pursuing chartered accountancy. This is not your 11th, 12th accounts or maths class that you know, maximum duration of class is 1.5 hours. Bro, sometimes here one section or one question goes on for 1.5 hours. So 3 hours. But then, before this section, it was necessary for me to give you the break, because section 194A is special. Can anyone point out what is special? Interest है इसलिए special. Lol. Anything excluding me. Please don't be a copycat. Everything said either they can will find out something. Without looking at the board also you can find out something special. Come on. This happens to be the first section of, come on. This happens to be the first section of Achich. इसको क्या चाहिए? चीजा. What other combinations you can make of ACHIJ? चीजा, जीचा, जी करते हैं. We'll keep a separate lecture. But alphabetical order also sounds proper only, no? Achich. And this happens to be the first in the sequence. And these are hot favorite sections. Highest number of questions in CA exams have been asked on Achich. First section of Achich, interest. Other than securities. Sir, why this partiality, this bhedbhav? Why not securities? Because securities are already covered elsewhere under section 193. So we are talking about all other interests. Sir, what kind of interest? FD interest, RD interest, loan interest. Do you understand? All that is also interest. All that will attract TDS here. Do you understand? Any person in your household, senior citizen, non-senior citizen, anybody who has made FD, anybody who has RD will be suffering this. This is something which affects the small, middle class, rich class, all the classes. This is something which happens in the daily life of each one of us, and this is a policy of ICAI. Any transaction which is happening frequently in the market will come frequently in the exam. 194A happens quite often. Do you understand? All those interests will come. Now, there is one good news that this is the definition of payer. Don't read anything. Hey, ruko jara. Don't read anything. This is very complicated, and I will explain this in detail. Now, you said, sir, it was good news. 194A, C, H, I, J are hot favorite sections. Plus, there is one more section, 194R, which is not in hot favorite, but it is a section. And in all these sections, the definition of payer is same. What is written here is written in full Achij. Forget Achij. It is written in Kachij. Not just Achij, but the same thing is written in Rachij. Even in 194R, it is same. In fact, when I do the chapter at CA final, believe me, I write everything in class, no? Like apna general learning habit. So, first section of Achij, I explain that definition of payer. Can you see? I will explain to you also. You don't read anything. So, I have written the full thing and I have explained. After this, say I come to 194C. Do you see what I am writing in pair? Hot favorite pair. If I come to say 194, next is H, no? See what I do. Hot favorite pair. If I come to 194I, everything I do like this only. Full TDS is taught at final like this only, like we did your full syllabus. We are only saving the writing time. I will say hot favorite. If I come to 194, J, hot favorite pair. Because you learn the definition of pair at one place, that same definition of pair is going to be applicable in all these sections. Achij is the hot favorite, you have to learn only one section bonus. Achij also includes Rachij for the purpose of definition of pair. Now then, I am going and explaining this pair ka definition in detail to you. Good news is, it is complicated but important because it's a part of Achij. Good news is, you understand it once, know properly, you can use it throughout hot favorite. You don't need to waste time. So, no one will read anything beyond what I am telling you. Do you realize if I am teaching you the definition of pair, which means I am teaching you the person who is responsible to do the duty of TDS. You are making payment to the payee. Payee can be anyone. See, resident person, they have written. His TDS, you have to first deduct, then pay to the government, then return and then certificate. So, do you realize duties of TDS are on the payer? So, who is supposed to do the duty? All persons other than individual HUF. Wait here. What is the definition of prayer in the hot favorite sections? Ladies and gentlemen, observe carefully. You don't cross all this. You don't have the book also. Very good. All persons other than individual HUF. What is the definition? Till now, I will complete with you. What is the definition? All persons other than individuals. So, true or false? Individual HUF can't pay. False. But for the receiver, it is exempt. False. It is taxable. But individual HUF will not deduct TDS. We don't want to put the burden of TDS duties on small individual HUF. That means companies, firms, LLPs, AOPs, they will deduct TDS. We don't want to unnecessarily increase the burden of TDS duties of individual HUF. So, we are removing them from the definition of payer. You understood? Still not complete, huh? We'll complete later. But with what we have studied till now, everyone has to participate and tell me yes TDS or no TDS. Company to firm. Yes, it is. Firm to LLP. Yes. LLP to AOP. AOP to individual. अरे individual तो डरना ही बंद हो गया है. Get scared, no. The moment I do this, you have to do this. Otherwise, my efforts are going waste. You stop being scared, bro. डर है क्या नहीं, bro? अरे individual. Will there be TDS? Yes. Yes. But if it was individual to AOP, then no. Company to HUF? Yes. But HUF to firm? No. We are granting immunity to individual HUF. As payers, you don't have to do duties. But as receivers, supposedly I am having FD. I am the receiver of interest. The bank will deduct my TDS. In payee, we are not saying exclude individual HUF. Understood or no? So, can I say individual HUF are removed from the definition of payer? But some individual HUF will have to do the duties. We are removing only those, now we'll learn the full thing, only those individual HUF whose turnover, slowly, don't read everything together. Be with me, don't rush it. Whose turnover in the last year, read only what I am telling you, last year. You know why we have to say last year, use your brain. Is it possible that we are doing transaction at the beginning of the year? You are paying interest on 1st April to someone. You don't know current year turnover. For any decision making, you can see turnover of, in the act they have written. You want to listen to the English. In the act they say, immediately preceding previous year. What do they say? Immediately last year. We will see last year. If your last towards turnover, who can have turnover? Only those who are having business or profession. If your turnover in business was less than or equal to 1 crore, then you don't deduct TDS, which means if your turnover was greater than 1 crore, you have to deduct. And if you do profession, then we have kept limit of 50 lakh. If your turnover in profession last year was up to 50 lakh, don't deduct TDS. If it is more than 50 lakh, then deduct TDS. That means, what are we effectively going to do? For 194 Rachij, our target is Rachij, but same definition is applicable also for R. When we are checking the payer, what to do? We will take individual HUF and we will take all other assessees. All other assessees will cover company, firm, LLP, etc. They have to always deduct. Of course, we will see the monetary limit, other conditions, but in definition of payer, they are always covered. Means this point won't grant them immunity. Company, firm has to deduct TDS. Let's talk about individual HUF. We will go and check their turnover of, we can't check current year, we will check last year. And what is the limit? For business, the limit is 1 crore. And for profession, the limit is 50 lakh. Your last year's turnover we will check. If it is less than or equal to 1 crore or 50 lakh, based on you are in business or profession, then you don't deduct. Just pay it. For example, me, individual, if I have paid interest to someone in the current year, my turnover, you think my turnover last year did not exceed 50 lakh. I am in profession. So we will see 50 lakh. Last year turnover did not exceed 50 lakh. So this year I will not deduct TDS. Sir, supposingly this year turnover exceeded the limit, whatever limit, business or profession. This year turnover exceeded the limit. So next year I will deduct. Please understand, this year's turnover will have effect in TDS next year. But this year's TDS will depend on last year's turnover. So if last year's turnover exceeded the threshold given here, in business 1 crore and in profession 50 lakh, then individual HUF will also have to deduct. Individual HUF will also have to deduct. You understood? So all other assessees always deduct. For individual HUF, we will see last year turnover less than or equal to the threshold 1 crore or 50 lakh based on business or profession, then don't deduct, and greater than 1 crore or 50 lakh, then Now see what is the definition of pair. Full definition from start to end. Because this is what I have copied in all the sections of Rachij. I have not copied. They have copied, so I have copied. All persons have to deduct TDS. But we will exclude individual HUF. But we are not excluding all individual HUF. Those individual HUF whose last year's turnover was less than or equal to 1 crore or 50 lakh will not be deducting. That means if it was greater than 1 crore and 50 lakh, then we have to deduct. And company firm always has to deduct. You understood the definition of pair? What is the good news? All hot favorite sections plus 194 are all the sections. It is going to be this one. Clear hai everyone? Now, can you see this monetary limit? See, monetary limit, as I already told you, you will have to learn. In every section, amounts are given. Still, I have made one thing easy for you. You know which thing I have made easy for you? Equal to. Even if you learn 5,000, equal to won't attract TDS. Equal to will attract TDS in 3 sections. 192A RPF 50,000. 194 DA life insurance 1 lakh. 194 IA purchase of property 50 lakh. Except 3 places, pick up any section, it is greater than. Actually, they should not unnecessarily complicate the law. If they are saying we want to simplify the income tax law, then bring about these simplifications. This is unnecessary complication. But then we have to find our way out of it. Always think about your controllables. Anything which is not in your control, no point unnecessarily wasting your time and energy. Anything that you can control, no. You can learn this. You learn this. You have taken care of that equal to part. Correct or no? So always think about what you can do. You have to learn greater than 5,000. But now understand, if payer is bank, do you realize that what for you and me is sale and purchase? For bank, it is interest paid and received. If we keep 5,000 threshold, then the number of account holders that will have TDS will be too high. And the duty of the payer will increase. So bank will have unnecessarily extra work. So we are increasing the threshold. For bank interest, we won't apply 5,000 limit. That means, listen, if I have taken a loan from you, if a corporate company is giving interest to any of its lenders, firm LLP is giving interest to any of its lenders, so we are going to apply limit of 5,000. When bank will give, bank can give what kind of interest? FD interest, RD interest. What will be the limit? For any person who is 60 years or above, that means senior citizen, the monetary limit will be greater than 50,000. And for any person who is other than senior citizen, the monetary limit will be greater than 40,000. You know them? Face is also visible or not visible on the projector. ATU. I never said ATU. Bro, legend, this guy. In case it is not. And still he is not as talented as his father. Because his father was another big legend, Mr. Harivansh Rai Bachchan. I can't incorporate in the example because TDS will come on living people. So, assuming that Abhishek Bachchan is not yet a senior citizen, you all know, it is possible that you all don't know this is Amitabh Bachchan, this is Abhishek Bachchan. Nahi pata na. You know them, seriously. Then you must be knowing, acha, you know because Aishwarya is South Indian. Now I know how. You know Robot movie? You know who was the lead actress of Robot movie? His wife, his daughter-in-law. Huh? Hindi kya? The Tamil movie was only dubbed in Hindi, no? Robot. Rajnikant, Vasikaran. Arey, Chitti was the robot. Scientist was Vasikaran. What was Aishwarya's character name? Sana. कौन था ये? Any you gadeda, you idiot. Is there a single section of the law that you remember like that? I was waiting for someone to say that. क्या item है bro item? You know, someone should keep you in a museum and keep ticket to watch you. नहीं, I will do your publicity. We'll keep ticket to watch you. मिस करेंगे इसको. देखो कैसा है कि I do miss all the fun that I have, but I have fun in all the batches. So I complete one batch and go to another batch. My fun continues. Your fun won't continue. So it is rather the other way around. See, on the next line itself, I have Akshay Kumar showing this. It is rather the other way around. You should be the one missing the fun, because with due respect to every other, I doubt whether you laugh so much in any other subject, or do you? Maybe, may not be. हाँ, of course, वो तो obvious है. वो I don't even consider, मतलब वो obvious है, मतलब वो that is not counted here. When I say other, मतलब other, सब में से झूठे. हाँ तो no problem, laugh. I am going to continue my fun batch after batch. You should be the one missing. And still, sometimes once in a while you have a batch which you miss. I have no shame in openly admitting that for the May 2024 CA inter attempt, so roughly 1 year ago, I had taken a batch at a place called Mulund in Mumbai, CA inter. I have not seen a batch like that in my career. I have not seen. Most of those students are on the back cover of the book. I have printed only photos of last 1 year. That also 70s, 80s. If 1 year ka only 60s also I print, no, then also there is insufficient space. And if career ka I print, I will have to print extra books. Only 70s, 80s, and most students, believe me, from the, and that also, see, 70s. If I talk about 60s of that batch, I have lost count of how many people got 60s. I clearly now also recently I told them that, listen, y'all are one of my favorite batches, because saying y'all are my favorite batch sounds inappropriate. As a teacher, there should not be favoritism. Y'all are one of my favorite batches. Most of y'all got exemption, but I am sorry, I won't be able to invite all of y'all, because I am inviting only 65 and above people as of now. After Jan 25 results, I will come to know how much space I have at the venue. Then I will think of inviting the 60 to 65 people. So, as a teacher, we don't believe in favoritism. But what made me get attracted to that batch was basically, before I complete any question, so supposingly today I am asking 10 double C, what is it? Even before I say, can someone tell me, can someone, I did not even speak 10 double C, so tax paid by employer. They never waited for me to complete my question before giving the correct answer. At this stage of life, maturity and professional experience, I don't get attracted to anybody's looks. I don't get attracted to appearances. These are the last things that matter, especially at this stage. I am attracted to your sincerity towards the subject, because you and me are here for a purpose. Fun, byproduct. Costing is over. Fun is byproduct. Classy examples, byproduct. Memes to keep the environment light-hearted. Chandu to enjoy. Public enjoyment, we have Chandu in class. But purpose is our subject and the marks. Priority is that. And believe me, when I was with that batch, I had clearly told in that batch that this is probably the only batch in my life which I am going to miss. And it's been 1.5 years since I completed, because October 23 my syllabus was over. Other subjects were going on. May 24 was that attempt. Almost 1.5 years. I must have taken so many batches after that, and hundreds and thousands before that. But I never tell any batch that I am going to miss or something. You miss if you want to. And these days, Gen Z, they're like, sir, syllabus over to ghar pe ja. So we are also not going to miss, which is also very, very normal and accepted. But bro, next level talent. And the moment I said that most of them are on the cover page, so पहले your first thing is देख देख कौन कौन है कौन कौन. So how do you know that out of these people who were from that batch? हाँ. तो listen. इतना fast जैसे you said Sana, no. In that speed, the moment you start giving me answers, you still have tomorrow, probably your last chance. In that speed, you give me your answers, I can still make a bold statement that I wish you all the best. I'm gonna miss you. Chandu, for saying Sana, so I can't miss you, no. I will watch robot. I will miss you if you give questions ka answers. So ladies and gentlemen, what is the normal limit of interest ka section? 5,000. But because bank has got frequent transactions, so bank ka interest ka limit was enhanced to 40,000. Make sense? But then immediately thereafter, another amendment was brought some years ago. They said bank interest 40, but for senior citizen 50. Anyone can tell me the reason why senior citizen ka limit was changed from 40 to 50? Normal. There are three monetary limits here. Normal answer 5. Bank interest limit 40. Bank interest to senior citizen 50. See, normal and bank we want to keep different. There is logic because bank ko we can't bringing TDS duties at 5,000. So 5 and 40 sensible. But why they brought 50? What was the need for that? Come on, use your brain and tell me. 80 TTB mein, if senior citizen is getting interest up to 50, it will be included and subtracted. Deduction, it is not exemption. So till 50,000, even if we deduct, I do agree that it forms a part of GTI, but it does not form a part of NTTI. It is not exempt income. Had it been exempt income, no question of TDS. If it is taxable income, yes, but still it goes away from NTTI because of deduction. So there is no sense then in attracting TDS. I said only one day left, so personally ले लिया. नहीं. No worries. You understand? These small things make me happy. I said, why senior citizen ka 50 ka limit? Are you able to correlate? Instantly is your brain going to deductions chapter? 50,000. Because they are eligible for 50,000 deduction, so we don't want to keep up. If you are able to correlate and join the various dots, you are ready for direct tax paper. And believe me, these small things make me happy. They do make me happy. All I want is answers from you. All I want is marks from you. Supposingly you are like that also. We know everything, but we won't give you the answer. We will write only in exam. Why should we make you happy? By giving answers in class. We will write answer in the answer paper. I am happy with that also. Because ultimately that is the main objective. So as long as you, because just before I completed another batch, they were like that only. There were students who scored 100 out of 100 in maths, 100 out of 100 in accounts in their 12th. And most of them were foundation students. So they cleared that June 2024 wala foundation, which was 15% passing. And in that huge batch size, with all toppers of their colleges, your Podarka topper is over there only. Whoever is that Podarka, there were some Podarka students. Gayab, no problem. Your Podarka topper was a part of that batch. Maths, accounts, 100 out of 100. Never answered a question in class. Like literally like a beggar, I used to answer. I went and spoke to the director of the class. Well, sir, it is getting very difficult. After PGBP capital gains, I said, sir, remaining syllabus, please call someone else. I'm not able to do it. Well, sir, I have taught them in 11th. I have taught them in 12th. I have taught them in foundation. And I am teaching them in inter. Sir teaches something from 11th to final. The owner of that class. He said, these people will never speak a single word in class. And they will write the best answers in exams. I guarantee you results. As a teacher, I get to know your caliber only with the interaction, with the kind of answers you give, with the kind of discipline you show in class. But if you don't show that, I will not come to know your caliber. But they will get their marks, sir. Don't, you just finish your syllabus. Don't ask them questions if they are not answering. But they will get their marks. I guarantee you. So if you are also having that attitude, we will not give you answers. If we give correct answers, you start praising us in front of our friends, then nazar is real. So we won't give you answers, but in exam we will write. No problem. I am very happy with it. Make sure you write your answers in exam. So you understood normal limit 5,000, bank interest 40,000, but bank interest to senior citizen, it is going to be 50,000. Interest is also going to attract 10% TDS. So if you remember today, when I taught you that gross net wala system, you see this FD interest. Why I took 90? Because this is also a case of 10% TDS. You understand? So FD interest, RD interest will attract 10% TDS. Everyone is clear? Slight mistake here. This is not TDS. This is interest. Okay. So, is it possible A is paying 1 lakh and B is paying 96,000? See, I regularly borrow money from you. You regularly borrow money from me. So, sometimes I have to pay you interest. Sometimes you have to pay me interest. The total interest I have to pay you during the year is 1 lakh. The total interest you have to pay me during the year is 96,000. Of course, at the end of the year, we will settle by 4,000. But for this purpose, for TDS purpose, we won't look at 4,000. We will see the gross amount. A has to deduct TDS on 1 lakh and B has to deduct TDS on 96,000. This also should be a part of your settlement, assuming A and B cross their last year ka turnover because they are individuals. See, assuming that you are falling in the definition of pair. So we will never deduct TDS on net amount. We will deduct TDS on gross amount. Is that clear? Hello. Next. If there is a bank that has adopted something called CBS, you must not be knowing what is CBS. I'll write the full form here. Core banking solutions. You must not be knowing this also. No problem. I will explain. Everyone focus. Core banking solution basically means centralized accounting. Core banking solution means what? Centralized accounting. For example, Prerna, you have a bank account. Major and graduate and you have a bank account. Which bank? Kotak. Which branch? Lower Parel branch. Nearby our this branch, we have a Kotak Bank Opera House branch. Bank has multiple branches. You do one thing, Prerna, go to Opera House branch. Fill a slip. Write account number of your Lower Parel branch and deposit your cash. See if that deposit reflects in your other branch account. It does because they maintain a centralized software like railways. In fact, a lot of times you see people opening accounts in different branches. So obviously the account numbers will be different. All these account numbers are kept under a central data called customer ID. Every bank will give you a customer ID, and under your customer ID, how many saving accounts are registered, how many current accounts are registered with different branch, with different account number. Under that one ID, they will maintain all the data. Because the bank has centralized software. You are registered with your KYC documents, PAN and Aadhaar, with a centralized registration number. That is called core banking solution. Is that clear? Now, if you understand what is CBS, the rule is very easy. Monetary limit. What is bank monetary limit? 40-50. You understand how? Senior citizen 50 and non-senior 40. We will take total of all the branches. Supposingly, you are getting interest of 25,000 from 3 different branches. So we will consider the total of 75 and deduct TDS on everything. Now read the full sentence. If bank has adopted CBS, then monetary limit is going to be what, bro? Total of all the branches. Bank has adopted CBS, then monetary limit will be total of all the branches. Ye clear hai? Everyone? Fantastic. Macro monitoring was a CBDT circular, so you can cancel. It is not relevant to you. Next point is not relevant but very small and easy. Partnership firm and partners have regular interest trading between them. Interest on drawings, interest on capital. There will be no TDS on those transactions because logic is simple. Income tax identifies firm and partner as separate associates, but real life identity is same. You've heard of the concept of joint and several liability. Partner is responsible for firm, firm is responsible for partner. You are aware of this? So interest by partnership firm to partner will not attract any TDS because we are assuming you all to be the same person in real life. Tax life you all are separate, but real life we consider you same. Point 4 and 5 are respected with respect to cooperative societies. Cooperative societies ka taxation is also not a part of your syllabus. Matlab section 194A is there, so I am not cancelling the entire section. But some points are not relevant at intermediate, so you can ignore them. Let's talk about MACT, Motor Accident Claim Tribunal. As the name indicates, it's a special court. The word tribunal means it's a court. You want to guess by looking at the name of the court. This court is created for what purpose? So supposingly somebody hits you with their vehicle. Sorry, but Papa ki pari. Sorry. Sorry. Please don't be offended. I know it's a very bad comment saying that women are bad drivers. Female drivers are like stars in the sky. Why? Because you can see them, they can't see you. This is, inappropriate. This is mean. This is true. But sorry for all the mean, awful, and accurate things that I said. Sorry for all the mean, awful, but accurate things that I said. So you hit someone with your car. That person can file a case against you for recovery of damages. Victim can claim compensation from the culprit. Repeatedly and regularly, we see newspaper reports of drunk driving. We see politicians' children hitting anyone, dragging them on their bonnet. We see industrialist children doing it. One industrialist child did it at a very famous road of Mumbai called Pedder Road. In a very famous car called Aston Martin, where the accident took place. From the accident site, that child directly went to London. Immediately. With visa stamp on the passport of 1 day prior. That child hit someone. No one died, thankfully. But the car which came in contact was completely damaged into pieces. That child was directly taken to London. The person whose car was completely damaged was given a new car of a higher variant. CCTVs of all the nearby buildings were not working. And the child went to London with 1 day prior. So was not there. Now who will file police complaint? Just imagine if I am that car owner whose car got damaged. I am so happy the car got damaged. Why? I got a new car. When money can solve problems, why do all this? If I file a case in the Motor Accident Claim Tribunal, I will get less compensation and more time. But then, not every industrialist surname ends with Nino. Your generation may not know because this is roughly 10 years ago. The Aston Martin case of Mumbai. In fact, all Google records also have been destroyed. So Google search Aston Martin case of Mumbai. Aston Martin is a very high-end imported car. Not available. All digital records also destroyed. Bro, that is why we call them owner of India. And in this chapter, when doing TCS, we'll again discuss about it. But for now, everyone is with me. Can you file a case for compensation? Along with compensation, the court will also give interest. If that interest is up to 50,000, there will be. So this serves as an additional monetary limit. Normal limit 5,000. Bank interest 40,000. Bank to senior citizen 50,000. Motor accident claim tribunal 50,000. At equal to, again, no TDS. So TDS will come only in greater than. Equal to attracts at 3 places. We are done with those 3 places. Listen, CA intermediate student. See, what is not important, I tell you to skip. If there is something that you have to give maximum sincerity in the entire 194A, which is part of Achij, be mentally ready that you are going to get a question on this. You cannot have a CA inter exam without a question on this. Very important, ladies and gentlemen. If you are earning interest on saving account, there will be no TDS. So saving account income, taxable or exempt? taxable but no TDS. TDS will come only and only in bank accounts. In bank accounts, TDS will come only on FD and RD. See, 4 types of accounts. Current account, there is no interest only, bro. Banks don't give interest on current account. Bank give interest on saving, FD, RD. Saving account interest is taxable but immune from TDS. That means TDS will come only on FD interest and RD. FD and RD. FD and RD. Is that clear? TDS comes only on FD interest, RD interest. Be ready. Be ready, ladies and gentlemen. You will certainly get a question like this. You have a P&L account. You will have bank interest. There's a net of TDS. FD interest, 90,000. Saving account interest, 4276. What are your steps in this? Step number 1, in PGBP, you have to subtract 94,276. Step number 2, in IFOS, come on, answer this correctly, is where you will get your marks. I have to add bank interest. In bank interest, which one is taxable? FD is taxable or saving is taxable? Both are taxable. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. This will be 1 lakh. Why, sir? 90 plus 10. And this will be 4276 divided by 90 into 100. No, this will be 4276 because even if they say net of TDS, they mean for FD. Because in saving there is no TDS. So here your answer will be 104,276. And last step, in tax, you will less. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the kind of adjustment they ask, which is a direct test on this point. They will give you FD as well as FD as well as saving. There was a recent MTP question, which was your, first 12 marks ka MCQs. So in actual case study question, case study MCQ, the case study was like this. There was first paragraph giving all the salary details, basic salary, contribution to recognized provident fund, all that was given. Then in the second paragraph, they had given details of bank interest received net, in which they gave FD interest 67,500. They gave some saving account interest also, some 5243 aisa kuch. That was your second paragraph of the question. Big question, case study, no, for everything they are giving. Then they gave a third paragraph about life insurance premium, medical insurance premium, all that data they gave. In that also, in medical, they said premium paid for senior citizen parents, hospital expense paid in cash. So you have to know hospital expense cash not allowed, only health checkup cash is allowed. So the detailed checking of that was also. Details about minute detailing. And that's it. Now there are 5 MCQs. Question 1, calculate income from salary. Where you have to use this basic salary, DA in terms, they had given provident fund. They had given employer contribution to provident fund 13% of basic salary. So 13% of basic salary I wrote in the inner column, and minus 12% of basic plus DA in terms. Hello, because exemption is 12%. If you don't remember that RPF, you are already wrong in your first question and you have lost your 12 marks. You want to see how? Question number 2, calculate gross total income, which is basically this correct answer plus IFOS, where you had to take FD interest of 75,000. Sir, how? 67,500 is net of TDS. And you had to take saving account of as given 5243. So first somebody has already made a mistake here. Then so your second answer can never be correct. Why? Because salary ka figure only is wrong. Supposingly you did not make that RPF mistake, but you make this TDS related mistake. So first answer may be right, but second answer is wrong. You understood how to approach? Third, calculate NTTI. What do you have to do? If this is correct, assume that you did not make salary mistake. and you did not make your bank interest ka mistake. So you have to do what? GTI as per question 2 minus that 80C minus that 80D. In this also again that cash hospital expense of the father was given. Cash hospital expense you don't have to take, but medical insurance premium paid in check you have to take. So here also you can go wrong. By the way, someone whose salary was wrong is already wrong in answer to question 2 and 3. Someone whose salary was correct, but bank interest you made mistake is still wrong in 2 and 3. Salary was correct, bank interest was correct, still you can go wrong. Question 4. Tax as per old regime. Bolo. Of course. Hidden adjustment. Because in this paragraph they gave only this much. So one mistake you make, you understand next answer is also wrong. Tax as per old regime. Bro, your salary is only wrong. So everything is wrong. Salary is right, but interest is wrong. Still tax will be wrong. Salary is right, interest is also right, but you forgot 80 TTA or medical insurance, wrong calculation. Then again you lose marks. In question 5, tax as per new regime. So whatever chapter 6 deductions you have taken, you have to deny. A rook in this salary calculation. Your answer to first question, you've taken children education allowance, hostel allowance ka benefit. You have to add them back. New regime. HRA ka exemption you have to add. Leave travel allowance you have to add. Standard deduction you have to further reduce by 25. How? Because old maybe gave 50, but new maybe will give. Do you realize what exactly is happening here? One mistake, 10 marks gone. Which is why I say, between DT, IDT, you write whatever you are comfortable with. First. Both have to be given 1.5 hours. DT may be little more. Once you start a DT, first you will write your 35 marks. The descriptive, subjective part. Then you will come to MCQs, the single MCQ, which are not case study. Last may you will attempt this question. Because in this question, first only you make mistake, everything will be. Supposingly you make mistake, your answers are not matching. Still select the option which is nearest to your calculation. There is no negative marking. By chance, by fluke, it is correct. So good, no. You don't have to leave and come, but you'll do last. And do you realize, again, direct testing is happening. And every exam में direct testing is happening of this point. So saving account, there will be no TDS, but FDRD, there will be TDS. ये clear है? Supposingly, you are getting income tax refund. Now, by now, we know that people do get income tax refund. If the refund is late, you will be very happy to know this. Income tax department gives us refund with interest. Do we get interest on income tax refund if the refund is received late? Yes, that refund is not taxable because tax paid is not allowed as a deduction. Please understand. When we pay income tax, we don't get deduction. So when we will get our refund, it is not taxable. But is interest our extra receipt? So is interest taxable? Yes, but on that interest there will be no TDS. Any student who knows why TDS has come knows the logic. TDS came why? So that you declare. You can't hide this interest. You can't hide this interest from income tax department. Why? They are only paying us, no. So you can't hide this income. Therefore, they will not deduct any TDS on this. Is that clear? One point which is not applicable is already cancelled. Last point. When a bank pays us interest, does the bank deduct TDS? At least on FDRD. But when we pay interest to banks and financial institutions, when we pay interest to banks and financial institutions, we pay by way of EMIs. Bank makes us sign something called a mandate form that every month we will deduct this much from your balance. So what do we call it? EMI. We don't have to deduct TDS. In other words, bank will deduct our TDS, but we will not deduct bank ka TDS. Is that clear? That's your 194A. Two things are very important here. One, definition of payer, and two, that FDRD will attract TDS but saving money. Because these are the two things which come in exam at inter level. Is that clear? Fantastic. Section 194B. B for Bazigar. B for Bazigar. In Hindi, gambler is called Bazigar. So, B. Winning from lottery. Do you know this iconic trio? तेरे को 8-10 लॉटरी एक साथ लगा. Before that, he speaks some Marathi slang, and I am not sure whether it will be appropriate to say it in class. It's not a bad word, because if it was a bad word, so it would have been censored. Movies still have censorship, unlike web series. You already spoke to each other. Oh, shall I? I'm a little hesitant. Shall I? He actually said, "Chamma aila tere ko 8-10 lottery eggs." He said in the movie. No, that was not a bad word. Hitesh is like, sir, ye kya bad word hai? You don't know what all I speak, sir. You, on a day-to-day basis, sir, you have got no idea. Lamao, noob. Nahi, chal chhod. You are winning from lottery. Do you know that that is casual winning? What is the tax rate of this lottery? 30%. And the company will also deduct TDS of 30% if you are getting more than 10,000. Or if you are non-resident, ignore non-resident because at inter-level you are not interested in that. Just understand that if you win a lottery of more than 10,000, so you will have 30% TDS. If it is exact 10,000, no TDS because greater than. Ye clear hai? Okay, wait. Supposingly I win 5,000 in lottery. Taxable or exempt? Taxable. That also 30%. Just that they won't deduct TDS. So how will I calculate my tax? 5,000 income, flat 30% special rate, 1,500 plus 4% cess. So 1,560 I will have to pay from 5,000. But supposingly I win 5 lakh. So company will deduct 30% TDS and give me only 3,50,000. Everybody is with me? Everybody is with me? 5 lakh pe they will deduct 30%. Because a lot of students get confused. Sir, here also it is 30. Sir, there also it is 30. Sir, this 30, that 30. That means you are still getting confused between tax rate and TDS. What is my lottery winning? 5 lakh. What is rate of TDS? 30%. So company will release how much? Just tell me that much. 5 lakh minus 30%. 3,50,000. Okay, wait. In NTTI, I will write 5 lakh. Because TDS amount also comes in income, no? Gross amount. 5 lakh. So, my tax will be 5 lakh into 30%, 150. Plus 4% cess, because in tax calculation cess also comes. So, what is my total tax? 1,56,000. You understand? And how much is the TDS? 1,50,000. So, 6,000 I will have to pay by your self-assessment tax. You understood? That chapter gives the receiver's duty of tax calculation at special rate. This chapter gives the payer's duty of deducting the applicable rate. This is coincidentally same as 30. Still different because that is 30 plus cess. This may not be same because TDS is not tax rate. TDS will be deducted. Later on you will get credit of the same. Less deducted or more deducted, you are going to be getting credit of the same. Is that clear, everyone? Fantastic. There are some TV game shows where the winning is not fully in cash. You know, a show like KBC, Kaun Banega Crorepati is very popular because they directly give cash. But some TV game shows don't give cash. The winning is in kind. It is possible that there is a TV game show where you are winning a car worth 5 lakhs, not cash. If cash worth 5 lakh, we deduct 150 and release 350. Very easy. But is it possible you are getting car of 5 lakh? What is the rate of TDS on casual winnings? 30%. Is this car won in a TV game show a casual winning only? Come on, TV game show. It's a casual winning. So how will the company release it? Obviously, they will cut the bonnet and give it to you. 30% TDS. So do one thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wheels. No, 4 wheels and 1 stepney. Spare wheel. So out of 5 wheels, cut 1.5 wheel. Okay, yes. To stop consuming your own stuff. How will we implement a TDS where the kind portion is heavy? Tell me one thing. What is the value of the winning? 5 lakh. What is 30% of 5 lakh? 1 lakh 50. If the entire 5 lakh was cash, then company ke liye the job is easy. They have to deduct 150 and give you 350. Okay. Listen, receiver. Listen, winner of the TV game show. Ultimately, on this 5 lakh, there is TDS on 150. You do one thing. You give me cash 150 and I will release your car of 5 lakh. So 5 minus 150, net release becomes 350. Do you understand? Alternatively, we give you one more option. Even if you give us 150, even if we would have deducted your TDS, what does the payer do with your TDS money? Pay it to the government. So listen, you are the winner of car. What is the value of car? 5 lakh. What is 30% of that? Pay 150 to the government. Because I was also going to pay to the government. Show me the receipt. Take your car. You as a winner will first have to pay 30%. Then you will get your winning. In cash winning, no, it is not so difficult because they deduct 30 and give you 70. But if the winning is in kind, so you give them 30 or you pay to the government 30 and then get your prize. Which is why non-cash TV game shows don't get that popularity. Because think about it as a winner. Supposingly you go to a TV game show and you win a car of 50 lakhs, a Mercedes or a BMW, you win a car worth 50 lakh. You want that car after winning? Say you want or you don't want? You want. What is 30% of that? 15 lakh. First, you will have to manage 15 lakh from somewhere. Without that 15 lakh, company will never give you 50. See, you can pay to the company or to the government. Wherever you pay. But you will have to bring 30%. Bro, for getting a BMW, you first have to secure funds for Honda City. You have funds worth Honda City, so you can get your BMW. Whom to get that 15 lakh from? Some people tell the company, sir, you only keep. Because I don't have 15 lakh to give you. Modi ji never gave it to me. I don't have 15 lakh. You understand or no? So this is what will happen if the winning is partly in kind. The other part you can ignore because it is related to a case law, and TDS will come at the time of payment. That at the time beginning of the chapter I told you 9 sections at the time of payment, but inter you don't need to learn the list. Before I go to 194BA, see we did B right now. Before I go to BA, I will first take you to BB. 194 BB. This is big bazikar, bada bazikar. So small people do what? They go and play lottery. But big bazikar, they do what? They go and place bets on horse races. They go to the race course. You've seen Saif Ali Khan movie Race? Saif Ali Khan. Saif Ali Khan is famous for one more song. That song, people really made fun of him after a thief entered his house. वो था बंगले के पीछे है ताला, घुसू कहाँ से मैं साला. So they have shown horse races in these movies. Is that also kind of casual winning? Same rule, more than 10,000 rupees, 30% TDS will get attracted. So do you observe carefully? B and double B. B and double B have the same content. More than 10,000, 30% TDS. More than 10,000, 30%. Are both of them also casual winnings, whether lottery or horse races? Sir, then why are they separate sections, unnecessarily wasting our energy? Once upon a time, the monetary limit in 194B was 10,000 and here it was 2,500. Because they wanted to keep separate monetary limit, they made separate sections. One for lottery, one for horse races. But some years ago, Jetli ji merged the limits and both of them were made to be 10,000. Now, because both of them are 10,000, both sections become copy of each other. In fact, if we want, we can come and here only say lottery or horse races and remove 194BB altogether. Because monetary limit is same, rate of TDS is same, everything is same. More than 10,000, 30% TDS will get attracted. Ye clear hai? In between, we have section 194BA, which was introduced in income tax law last year only, because as things are getting digital, See, shopping became digital. Ordering of food became digital. Bro, basic necessities of life, food, clothing, shelter. Bro, health and education has also become digital. So gambling also became digital. Now we don't go to the lottery shop. We do what? Well, what do you do, Chandu? Nahi karta. The confidence with which you said makes me trust you. But then I also know that you lie with confidence. And so whether Dream 11 became popular, but there are lots and lots of fantasy league websites where you can do online gambling, online betting. Did we discuss this in IFRS? Did we discuss the formula of calculation of winning? Withdrawal plus closing balance minus opening balance and non-taxable deposit, because it is a statement format. So whatever is your winning amount during the year, on that amount, that online betting company will deduct TDS of 30%. So effectively, is this also casual winning? Just that it is not online, it is offline. And it is not offline, it is online. And therefore, it won't be a transaction by transaction calculation. It will be annual statement wise calculation. And on your annual income, there is going to be 30% TDS. Is that clear? Otherwise, all the three sections of casual winning, B, BA, BB, all three of them have 30% TDS. These are the only three sections where it is 30%. Today, when I did 1,40,000, I told you, net amount with TDS not given. You said, hey, sleeping kya? Pay attention. You said 175 and it was matching 20%. So that way there is some risk involved in doing that next round figure. But then only three casual winnings ka sections, that is lottery, horse races and online games, have 30%. So by chance your exam question in any of these transactions, in any case special rate you have to remember. So the probability of you remembering TDS is going to be a little on the higher side. The probability of you going wrong is still not that high. And in any case, most exam questions come on Achi only. So the probability of them coming in exam also is too less. We are still not leaving any chance. So effectively, there are three sections which have 30% TDS. Everyone clear? Now, while 194C happens to be the next section of your Achij, I can't be doing 194C right now for the simple reason that this is very, very big. So we can't be doing this now. Thank you, Sanay. This is very big. So we'll do it later. We'll go to the next section, 194D. Everyone is with me? Ignore this section like Modi ignores Kejriwal. And I tell this to CA final students also. TDS on insurance commission is not going to affect you and me. Understand, an insurance agent. You know life insurance agents? Anyone has life insurance agent in family? No one? Life insurance agent, no one? Life insurance agent is someone who will convince you about the benefits of your death. Because benefit of, he will tell you that if you die, so much money will come. Bro, to whom? Huh? Then he will say, अच्छा sir, तो भाभी जी के लिए ले लो. And you become the nominee. Take life insurance for your wife and become the nominee. I didn't tell you about one of my cousin uncles, my grandmother's brother's son. He is a very, very big life insurance agent. Okay. So every year he used to come to Mumbai. He stays in Rajasthan because he has lots of LIC clients in Mumbai. He comes to collect the premium money. He used to come. Now, so things have become digital. He used to come to collect, and every time he used to come to my house because my father's cousin brother, you can say. So he used to come and pressurize my father that एक तो policy ले लो, kindly take one policy, please take. Every year he used to come. My father used to say, no, I don't want. One day he finally managed to convince my father that एक policy ले लो, it is good for security. My father said, ठीक है, give me one policy. The moment my father said yes for one policy, he is like, now take for Bhabhi also. Because it has to be cross security. My father gave him, like he always used to give answer to people. I am only a cheap version. I always say this. He was always ready with the answers. He said, listen, if I die, she needs money. If she dies, I need nothing. So time pass mat kar. I am taking one policy. You want to give, you give. Otherwise, get lost. Dimag mat kar. He, poor guy thereafter never came to my house to sell any policy. But insurance agents are like that. Why is he putting so much pressure? The premium is going to the company, no? Then why is he interested? Ah, insurance company will give him commission. Do you realize this section applies only between company and agent? You and me have got nothing to do. Yes or no? And therefore, anything that does not affect real life people, they are not interested in anything. So you can ignore this peacefully, like Modi ignores Kejriwal. But then this payment by life insurance company, this you have to study, because can you and me all have life insurance? And these payments we will all receive. Hello. This only agent will receive. But this payment any person with policy will receive. That means, is this section 194 DA going to affect your life and my life? Therefore, it is important. And tell me something that you already know about DA. The second section that will attract TDS on equal to the second section equal to 1 lakh will also attract TDS. Equal to 1 lakh will also attract TDS. So, ladies and gentlemen, three cases were equal to attract TDS. First, 192A, premature RPF, 50,000. Second, 194DA, life insurance, exact 1 lakh. What is TDS? 5%. There are about 5-6 sections of this chapter that have undergone amendment. The TDS till 30th September was 5%. And this amendment, because it is election year, amendment will always come in the middle of the year. You have seen the whole capital gain chapter, so you are aware. From 1st October, the TDS rate is getting reduced. So, in my handwritten book, I write amendment like this. So, in class also, every time we do amendment, I do the red color wala part. Amendments are always important for CE students. Otherwise, rest of the theory, I will write in black color or wherever any important point or highlight, I always do that also. But of course, the overall presentation, not that this book is different from the class notes, but the overall presentation, and for the plain reader of the book, the presentation here is far better, certainly better than my handwriting, obviously. I could have with my handwriting also become a doctor that only the chemist understands what I have written, and I know my limitation, that I know my handwriting is very, very bad. So every time when I meet someone and people tell me, what are your weaknesses? Because people will ask you in an interview, what is your weakness? Sir, I have bad handwriting. So I have answered the question also, but this is something that won't affect you. When you are asked in an interview, keep your bag with you. What is your weakness? Sir, I can't stay hungry. Remove chocolate and eat in front of me. Sir, I can't stay hungry for very long. Because the person interviewing you will have no problem with that. Eat no baba. Nobody is forcing you not to eat. If that is only your weakness, no problem. You have tactically answered the question. Be ready with such answers for any interview, including articles. If you come to my firm for interview, don't try this on me. What is your weakness, sir? Chocolate. You only give, no sir. You only give the suggestion, so you only give the chocolate. Yeah, like someone told me, sir, Maggie ka stuff also you bring. I said, I make best Maggie, and this branch of ours has a pantry also. दूसरा कोई काम धंधा नहीं. हाँ ठीक है, you bring the सामान, I will make it. नहीं, list if I give my secret will get revealed. तो आप लेके, yes, no, come home, I will make that. Anytime. Anytime. If you get free from your 8 hours lectures and you still have time and the patience of again tolerating a professor also. So what, he's cooking something for you. Bro, you are already cooked, as they say in a Gen Z terminology. Lekin you still have to tolerate my face. Say what I want to hear. नहीं 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 वो नहीं. Say what I want to hear. हाँ ठीक है. We'll decide when to do that. Okay. We'll wait and watch. No, once the syllabus gets over, who, कौन तू, ऐसा if we by chance come across each other at any public place, so the moment you say अरे road cross करके you go to the other side because you don't want, you have done this with some people, so you must have definitely done. If that person is coming, you cross the road and go to the other side because you want to avoid. You are like अबे पकाएगा अभी छोड़ना है. So let's see where we go, in which direction we head. First of all, some people are so loyal to me that just because my portion is getting over tomorrow, they started getting dizzy and they are unwell today itself. This is the affection that I'm looking for in life. Tomorrow she will cry. Today for what? But not for me, no. That you do tomorrow. This amendment has taken place in the middle of the year, and you will have to remember both rates. The rate of TDS till 30th September 5%, and thereafter 2%. ये clear है? This also falls in the 9 cases of TDS at the time of payment. Now, the next point is the taxability or exemption of this maturity. See, please understand. If it is exempt income, there is no question of TDS. So death cases, there will never be TDS because it is always exempt. And maturity cases also, you have to stay within your limits. Plus, there are amount limits also. Now, this 2.5 lakh ka limit is not applicable in your syllabus, but this 5 lakh ka limit I have taught you. So, if your premium is within limit, then it will be exempt, no TDS. But if your premium is more than limit, then it will be taxable and there will be TDS, but provided the amount is 1 lakh or more. See, taxable to 5,000 also, but TDS will come only if it is 1 lakh. Ye clear hai? This section is not in your syllabus, but I enjoy teaching this section to CA final student. This is non-resident foreign national sportsman. Oh bro, what a guy. Visible hai? Nahi visible hai. Mumbai Indians have got highest number of IPL trophies only because of this guy. Only because of this guy. So foreign national sportsman. Then the same section has foreign sports association. For example, this is West Indies cricket board, this is Sri Lanka cricket board, this is South Africa, these are beggars. Let's samjha. Just imagine, they have to incur the full cost of Champions Trophy despite being out of the tournament. It is like paying EMIs of a stolen phone. है ना? You read that joke that Champions Trophy will continue in Pakistan, but Pakistan will go from Dubai to Pakistan. Must fantastic. That's sports association. And then we have foreign national entertainer like Justina Bieber. This girl had come some years ago, remember, to perform in our country. Justina Bieber. Or whether it is that Coldplay, Chris Bau Martin. I have a very good reel on explaining this also. I did say in that reel, Coldplay is famous for its song Fix You, but Book My Show actually made it. Forget it. Forget it. I said it on record. The video is available on record. Within a span of few minutes, they earned 120-150 crore rupees. What do you think should be the income tax payable? Whenever a foreign national sportsman or sports association or entertainer, sportsman, sports association or entertainer comes to India, sportsmen will come for what? Games, sport, participating in advertisement or contributing to media. Sports associations are given guaranteed amount if they send their players, and entertainers earn from performances. They have to pay tax of 20% plus surcharge plus cess, and therefore we as payers will also be deducting that because they are non-residents. So this is a very, very important section of CA final. We will talk about it 3 years later. NSS withdrawal also is a section which I tell CA final students, ignore like Modi ignores Kejriwal. Ignore it like Modi ignores Kejriwal. It is never asked. Everyone is clear? So we go to the next now. G, H are again related big sections. I won't be able to do them right now. I can do this small section with you right now. Because today's lecture already we have completed dividend, Dividend we will receive from company, but mutual fund payments we will receive by mutual fund company. See, understand, shareholder receives dividend and mutual fund mein unit holder receives a share of profit. In dividend there is 10% TDS. In mutual fund also there is 10% TDS. In dividend there is no monetary limit, but for resident individual they gave 5,000. Because we studied today, you will be able to relate. In mutual fund, for general section only they have given 5,000. So as a unit holder, you receive any profit from mutual fund, then more than 5,000, then there will be 10% TDS on that. So you can relate 194 and 194K together with each other. Of course, in between, we have some sections like C, G, H, I, J. There is some IB, IC also. We have skipped a few sections here, but we will start tomorrow's lecture with 194 C only. Will complete C, and whatever we have completed in between, of course, that is over. Whatever we have not completed, we will complete very, very peacefully and safely. Within a few hours, we will be able to complete our syllabus in the last lecture, that is tomorrow. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, for one last time, we will meet each other. In one last time for intermediate and one last time forever. Nine, pakka, chal pre-booking kar. One last time for your CA intermediate syllabus. I will see you guys tomorrow. Please